Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Series E Apex Legends. My name is Yeso. I will be your host tonight as we kick off another pro night here as we get ready for the end of the season. We're just 1 week away from closing out Season 4 of Series E Apex Legends, and it's been a hell of a journey. We're coming off the heels of an impressive performance from Team Nerf, and there's tons to break down here tonight, so I'm looking forward to all of our games. Before we do that, though, I want to break things down just for folks that may be new to Series E and kind of what's going on here, okay? Series E is a professional esports open circuit that absolutely anyone can join across multiple titles. We've got Halo Infinite, we've got Guilty Gear Strive, and of course Apex Legends. Now the way things work is teams go and compete in our open qualifiers, and the best of the best make it into Series E. Now what that means for them is all these players get to sign a contract. They get drafted by one of our partnered brands. They make a monthly salary, and they get to compete weekly for points and prize money. In Apex Legends, it's every Tuesday night against other open squads, just like these teams used to be themselves. And then every single Wednesday, they play against some of the top pros from all across North America. So if you and your squad want to get in on the action, head over to matcharena.com/ESA to sign up. And if you have any further questions, esportsarena.com has you covered. Now, let's turn our attention, of course, to tonight's action. As I mentioned moments ago, Nerf, with their best performance of the season last night, getting into triple digits and winning open night. Of course, they have been in a very tight battle with Excedrin for third place. Remember, the top 3 teams in the overall standings from Series E hold on to their sponsorship. They get to come back next season. They do not have to go through qualifiers all over again. And that is a very important battle because Excedrin has been very good over the last few weeks, jumped ahead of Nerf 2 weeks ago, and have been trying to hold on to that spot. But Nerf trying to chase them down here with just 3 nights of competition, including tonight, remaining this season. That is one of the important storylines to keep track of and keep your eye on how those 2 teams are performing. Now, of course, the test is more difficult here tonight. With it being pro night, the competition is significantly raised, so it's going to be a much tougher task for these teams to put up points here tonight, but it is very important for them to maintain the consistency they've had over the last few weeks. Of course, Intel looking to have a splash here on a pro night. They have been very, very good on open nights, but have struggled on Wednesdays throughout the season. And of course, Vizio just looking to put the finishing touches on what has been an incredible championship campaign here in Season 4. Lots to talk about tonight. We'll be covering it all here in between games. Of course, our casters, Jamerson and T-Squared, are getting ready to go, and the matches are apparently getting ready to go as well. So let's kick off another night here of Series E Apex Legends.
Series E.
Series E.
Series E.
Series E.
Series E.
Apex Legends.
Apex Legends.
Series E Apex Legends starts right now.
And now we're seeing it once again, just like Game 2, slowed down, but Fury time and time again. And geez, if they think they're winning it, chances are they're winning it.
It gets thirsted by Zera Tricky as Hakil is going to come around the corner with the spray, and now it's just one player alive over here, and this was...
All right, welcome everybody to Series E. It is coming down to the wire now. We're in our second to last pro night here for Series E. We have 1 week of competition left after this. So time is starting to run out for a lot of our squads. And like Yeso said, Tom, it's going to be the top 3 that move on. And we have a really close race between Excedrin and Nerf. It's going to be a race to the finish line.
Yeah, we'll see who's going to be able to nerf today because they were literally dominating yesterday. And it was really exciting to see not just one player playing well, not just 2 players playing well, all 3 players playing well on Team Nerf, all playing together. They're looking like the team to beat today. I mean, yes, it is pro night, but if they play anything like they did yesterday, I expect them to be in the top 5 today.
Yeah, Nerf were playing well. We also have to give kudos out to Razor as well. I believe they had some fantastic performances. Excedrin started it off strong, weren't able to finish out, and so that meant Nerf was able to catch up by 38 points. Let's go ahead and talk about what's going on tonight. We've got 6 matches taking place. Of course, 3 will be played on World's Edge, and then 3 will be moving on over towards Storm Point. We have, of course, the prize pool on the line. Want to double check that one, but if that's true, $2,000, that'd be sick. And then, of course, it's all coming down to the point distribution. It's going to come down to kills and, of course, placements. We saw a lot of differing styles last night during the open night, but we know when it comes to the pro night, things change up a bit, a little bit there, Tom.
Yeah, you guys are welcome. I threw in an extra $1,000 of my own money just for pro night tonight. No, I'm just kidding. Esports Arena doing it big. I'm pretty sure that is correct, Jamerson. I think we bumped our pro night up significantly, so that's awesome to go and see. But we'll see who comes out and steps up today. I mean, a lot of these pro teams, keep in mind, they're getting ready for Stockholm, Sweden, and that's a really big deal for these players. And there's a lot of other teams that, you know, really looked hot in that tail end of the ALGS that are trying to prove themselves. A lot of our partner teams. I'm excited to see how a team like Vizio does, where they do really well getting inside of the zone. The rotations are extremely fast. But again, really a lot of the eyes are going to be on Excedrin and Nerf and seeing how they're going to go and perform today.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's going to be a lot of practice going into Stockholm, and this is kind of like the last chances for practice before teams start moving on and getting ready for their boot camps and preparing for the LAN. Let's take a look at the teams that we have joining us tonight, and it is a star-studded affair once again. TSM will be joining us. We've even got Girl competing tonight with TDG. It's great to see them. Wingman Season, who have been performing extremely well in the Challenger circuit, so I'm really excited about the level of competition that we have today.
Yeah, looking at the teams that have qualified for Stockholm, the top 10 teams in North America, right? So you have CLG in here, you have Liquid in here, obviously TSM. Those are going to be the big squads to go and look out for, because those are the teams that have a lot of practice that they need to get. So I'm expecting them to come through with the same comps that they plan on running. I'm not expecting TSM to try anything new or unorthodox or out of the box. I'm pretty sure they're going to go with their standard composition that they qualified for Sweden with. So it's going to be a high level of play for those three teams specifically, and then everyone else that is the partner teams, they have a lot to play for in terms of the cumulative leaderboard, which is right there.
Yeah, and take a look at that difference right now between Excedrin and Nerf. They are Nerf are currently down by about 38 points, or 36 points, excuse me. And so I believe last night that they had outscored, Nerf had outscored Excedrin by 38 points. So you can see how easily that can shift. But Team Nerf, they do have a higher level of competition that they have to deal with today. We'll see if maybe Excedrin's more macro style, more zone heavy style, maybe proves a bit more fruitful today. They need to stem the bleeding that started yesterday. But for Team Intel, it doesn't seem like, with their performance from last night, that they'll have an opportunity to try and overtake Team Vizio in first place.
And if I'm Team Nerf, I agree with what you're saying with Intel and Vizio, but if I'm Team Nerf, what I'm trying to do is at least cut this in half, right? Maybe as long as I can maybe get in like 10, 15 extra points than Excedrin today, I'm going to be feeling good. If I can cut that in half and maybe get 20 or even more than that, then that's going to be phenomenal. But, you know, it's pro night, and you have to expect, you know, Nerf's not going to drop 100 points tonight. Let's be real. They dropped, what, 102 yesterday after only playing 5 games. They could have ended up setting the record if we ended up playing 6. So, you know, for them, the closer that they're able to add the pressure, the closer they're able to get to Excedrin, the more pressure that they add on here, the more that, you know, you think Excedrin maybe could buckle under that. And you saw the way that Nerf was playing yesterday. They were stepping it up. They were definitely going, you know, and swinging for the fences. They were trying to do whatever they can in terms of, you know, taking a lot of fights, playing all these different facets of the game that they needed to do. The end games were really strong. Their team fighting was looking really good. The mechanics and all the decision making was really strong. I think the only mistake that we saw them make was in the skyhook zone towards the tail end, where Excedrin pushed on the opposite side of the fence, and that could have been a big opportunity to eliminate Excedrin, because I think they went on to win that game, right? So that was a pretty major mistake that, if you look at it and say, hey, what was one turning point, what was one major mistake that we ever made that we could have, you know, qualified for Series Z? It was them not pushing over the fence and taking down the team that was, you know, right in front of them. And they ended up dying to Excedrin. That's more points going on over towards them. So that's a 6-point difference in kill points, plus the placement points that they ended up missing out on. And that could end up playing a big role in who qualifies and who doesn't.
Yeah, to be fair, from the Nerf side, you know, it was not an unforced error, right? Even though the play should have been to just full send it on to them, you have to give a huge kudos to Cruisin', who came up with that huge airburst nade that cracked one of their shields, took another one down for 50 or 60, I forget. And then they kind of were left in that weird limbo. It's like, what do we do now? And kind of like left them with some shell shock. But that is something that you have to work out itself, right? You have to be able to instantly react to a bad situation as well. So we'll see if that happens. Another thing I want to talk about is that here on the Pro Nights, Excedrin, because of their playstyle, because of how they like to really focus on zone, on pro nights, they typically average around 30 to 40 points. And so that means if you want to see that lead cut out in half, Tom, that means Nerf needs to have about a 50-point night. So that's going to be difficult here, but here we are, heading into game number 1 of the day here in Pro Night for Series E. Of course, starting off on World's Edge. Now, we had a lot of 50-50s going on last night. Can't really expect it to happen here on World's Edge, where there's a lot more known factors, where everyone knows where everyone's dropping.
The question is CLG and XSET still going at it for the Harvester side? Because you have XSET who didn't qualify. They qualified for Sweden, and CLG ended up qualifying, and they still bullied them out of that spot because CLG was like, you know what, you guys are absolute psychos. We're going to leave you guys. We have a chance to qualify. You guys are sitting in, what, top 20? Definitely going to make it into the next season of the Pro League, but it's really funny to watch this continue, and it's still happening. They're still 50-50ing over in Harvester.
Yeah, and again, it's about how the fights take place. We've talked about it week in, week out when it comes to the XSET versus CLG fight over Harvester. The way that they approach it, XSET really dominates middle and then pushes out from there, while on the other side, CLG ends up taking the fringes of the loot. They end up taking these S-Bends along with, you know, the ramp buildings there, and from there, XSET are able to push out for free. I mean, time and again, it's always XSET pushing out basically to one of these snakes.
And it looked like that they found one player that was, I think that was Nano, that was out of position and landed by themselves. And then immediately they get pounced on. And I wonder if CLG was thinking the same thing. Like, is XSET going to continue to go over here? Most likely they knew that that was going to happen. But it's surprising to see all 3 players not land in the middle and take their time right there. You cannot afford in a 50-50 to let 3 players go and land on you. That's like the worst case scenario. And you can see XSET's just chilling. They're going to camp that banner. They're not going to allow this team to come in and try to get their player back in there. But maybe we could have some sort of reset. I'm not quite sure what kind of funny business is going on over here.
It looks like Vizio moving into town right now. We didn't get to quite look at the map, but they are starting to move down here to the south. So that has to be indicating that the ring is going to be pulling maybe over towards Lava Siphon or so, but they can't move through the Harvester area because, well, XSET and CLG are still here. Looks like there is a team still by staging, though, and Scissors is gifted a free gold backpack. He might have to just toss that one over because he might go down. By the way, we didn't talk about it, but Jimmy, he's on the lifeline.
What the heck happened to his drone right there? He throws it down and it just goes away. All right, Lifeline, we already know that Lifeline's pretty weak, but that's just straight weak sauce, man. If the drone doesn't even work, I'm not quite sure what's the point of playing Lifeline.
Also in the kill feed, TDG ended up taking out all of Wingman season. Was not expecting that at all, but that happened. Here's Excedrin coming in for the third party to push onto Vizio. They got the knock onto Fury. They were not able to go for that full reset. Big connect on that charge rifle. Another one there to follow up on the Gibraltar. I mean, he is a big target, but they haven't gotten him down quite yet. His bubble should be coming up soon, but there's Scissors falling. Now there's only one player left, Jimmy, for Team Vizio. We'll see if he can come back to try and get it, but as a lifeline, I don't know how many chances you actually have.
So weird to see a team like Excedrin get all these free points this early in the game, and it's unorthodox for a team like Vizio, 1, to be rocking the lifeline, 2, to be giving up kills so early on in the game, and it's just weird to me that it's going on over to Excedrin. I'm not calling collusion or anything like that, but that's just Excedrin being on top of their stuff. It's just a really weird first couple minutes to this game. I'm not quite sure what to think of it, to be honest with you, Jamerson.
Yeah, I think it was just an awkward rotate, right? Okay, as we take a look at the ring pull, so it's not down towards tree, it's actually going down towards launch site. We're looking at the open ground between launch site and dome possibly, or just outside of Lava Siphon. But because of that 50-50 that takes place, XSET, CLG, they hover around Harvester for so long, and that's directly in the path of how Team Vizio wanted to move. They got delayed, they move off to the side, then Excedrin come in, take advantage of that situation. So we're already down about 3 teams. I mean, 9 players are gone currently, as it looks like Jimmy tried to go back for those banners. He ends up getting it taken out. Excedrin do get the full +3.
That's good for Excedrin. They really need these points. If I'm Nerf, I am absolutely fuming that they're getting kills this early on in the game and it's becoming so free. I mean, you have a lifeline going for the banner when you know that they're going to be camping for it. None of those plays really make sense for me for a team like Vizio. So I'm scratching my head wondering, like, are they going to take this seriously today? Because if not, I'm going to rip them a new one. Like, to be honest with you, there's way too much on the line to be messing around right now.
Take a look at how aggressive Dupe and Noct currently are. Skittlecakes is actually still armorless. I'm imagining he's using the replicator to try and upgrade his armor on his one. So right now, the Esports Arena in a 2v3, but they don't care. They are getting real up in their face right now. Might get punished for it though. Noct is forced back. Skittlecakes needs to get back to his armor there and then join his squad. But it looks like Noct will be able to back away. He has that gold armor. Just quick reset. So Esports Arena not punished off of that really big aggression.
I feel like I missed Esports Arena in our teams when we had the 20 teams up, but they must have been sitting up in that #1 spot like they normally do. So we have 4 teams that have qualified today out of the 10 teams that are there going into Sweden. That's phenomenal. That goes to show you how stacked this lobby actually is. And I love watching Skittlecakes on this horizon, just like we were seeing Turns play yesterday. But watch out for this team if they start to go in on you, because literally Duplex is such a strong Gibby. I feel like it's just a matter of time before the bubble goes down and the black hole comes through from Skittlecakes.
Yeah, Skittlecakes went on a wide flank there, throws down that black hole. It doesn't look like it got connected, or they might have just cleared it extremely fast, forcing out the bubble at the very least. A Nox gas grenade is going to slow things down. It's inside the bubble, though, and they don't really have to worry about that quite yet. They at least force them out of this position. They secure the vault's loot as well. An additional gold armor going on over and a secondary purple. So if they want to play off this position, if they want to play inside the tons, they definitely can. They have the armor swaps in the back. They've got to be careful of getting pinched though. The Arcstar not quite connecting. Now they're just buying time. They're going to get out of here. Grav lift to avoid the nades on the ground as well. Team Esports Arena, get out of dodge.
This is so smart from Esports Arena. They understand that they're pinched in between 2 teams, and the last thing that you want to do, 90% of the time, team's thought process is right there, is go into the vault, hide in the vault. It's the only way we're going to get away. Skittlecakes with this genius grab lift. Noct trusts him, goes through, gets out of there, and like you said, they get out of dodge, and now they take the high ground on this team over towards Lava City, and now they're ready to fight. I mean, this is the 3rd different team they fought in this matter of, what, 30, 40 seconds?
Yeah. Not much coming of it quite yet for them, but they might with a clip like that. Ooh, knocked. Only 50 damage off from getting the knock. Just a few more bullets if they had connected. They could have gone ahead and pushed for that. They do have a Bloodhound scan to worry about, though. I don't know if the Beast of the Hunt is going quite yet, but big, massive shots. That's going to be Twisted Sin losing out on Lux. Easy bub into the 2nd floor to take out Kleptic. And now there's only one player remaining here for Twisted Sin, as the rest of Razor are starting to come in for the 3rd party. Will they be able to take out Team Esports Arena?
Great shots right there from Dre, who was playing phenomenal yesterday on the Loba, now switching on over to the Valkyrie. But you can see Noct with the car has been going in the entire time. You have Duplex down, you have Skittlecakes down. Let's see if they're going to be able to find Noct, who's just been on a tear over here at their POI in Lava City. I like this idea. Go for the thirst, get the flush, but look at Noct. Look at from his point of view. There's nothing you can do when the man is shooting like that. Fortunately for Razor, they have the armor swap, and that could be the saving grace throughout all this, because Noct's ready to 3v1 them.
Yeah, he almost got the re-knock onto Fearing Live there, but now it's going to be much more difficult. Another team ends up showing up, I believe, might be on the 5th floor there, as Noct is going to go for another peek, but the barrels force him back up. He's got the gold armor, though, so he goes for the quick resets, needs to hit a syringe. I don't know if he's actually got time for that, as he's going to have to try and get out of here. I mean, they need to find a moment to get the reses as well, so time is running out for this squad. It looks like Skittlecakes was able to climb away fairly long distance, and so that's going to allow Noct to actually go for the res here.
And he's going to shoot the missile barrage, so he stops the sound cues of the res coming through. And what they should be doing is just skyward diving immediately. We see if Skittlecakes can get out. He gets re-knocked. Noct, unfortunately, it may have been the best idea to just skyward dive out of there with the banner, but what a smart move. Just get rid of the sound cues. He already has one teammate's banner. Now maybe he can get the banner for Skittlecakes a little bit later, but Razor's going to be on top of the sloop for quite some time. So amazing job from Noct. I mean, everything that you would want to see from one of your clutchest players, he is pulling that one off. But Razor's 3rd party is completely, again, on time. And that's what they did so well yesterday, Jamerson. Not one chance did they let a third party get away from them, and that time they were able to capitalize on one of our best teams here.
The surprising part about the push was that they didn't see the trade on the kill feed, right? It was all Team Esports Arena winning that fight, but they still ended up forcing the issue, pushing in, getting the knocks there. Here's Team Furia making their rotate. They're gonna hard edge this one on the south side, try to play slow zone, move their way into mini dome, and then possibly push up from there. It looks like Razor were able to finish off Esports Arena with Knocked finally going down. Definitely not without a fight there. Furia will be taking some damage. Panders is on the Watson. So what is going on right now with the Watson picks? We saw it yesterday from Splash. Panders is picking it up here. Is there an actual resurgence of Watson?
Well, Panders did Watson in the ALGS on the final day, and that was Furia's most successful day. They went from a top like 30 team to potentially a top 20 team, and they tied for first place with, I think it was Team Liquid. So it's definitely viable. They did some pretty unorthodox comps going into Stormpoint as well. I think they were rocking like a Gibby list composition, and you can see now they're in it with Ghost Gaming, and this is a little bit of a different roster that we saw before without 6 in here. You have Davis Wade, you have Zakadusha still on the Gibby, and then you have Impulse landing some nice wingman shots there, and the finish right there onto Tech as Davis comes through. And hopefully he can stay alive right here, but he's getting shot at from so many different angles, multiple teams in the vicinity. This is not looking good for either of these teams.
Yeah, this is looking like a great from the either side, but quick flick around. He might actually be able to 2v2 here. Does take out Panders, but he will ultimately fall. Sorcerer gets that last kill, but looks like maybe some more nades coming in. We hear the slides, the pylon blocking out all those nades from Oxygen. They haven't realized there's a Watson in play. Now they realize where all the nades went. As it sounded like they didn't even realize, you know, they don't even remember what the Watson generator sound is. But slowly but surely, they're going to try and pick him apart. There we go, taking out the generator. Just a few more shots, as looks like they want to continue to toss in nades, maybe toss in a barrel there for themselves. It looks like we lost one of our observers, unfortunately. Excedrin in a fight, or it looks like just controlling over at Lava Siphon. There's a team above them.
Don't worry, observers. Watson used to do that to my computer too before I upgraded, so I completely get it. It's 3 fences and a generator that'll do it to you. Imagine what it was like when every single person was playing Watson going forward. Excedrin with their early kill points. I mean, this has been such a fast-paced game. I'm not expecting it to go this fast-paced when we switch on over to Stormpoint, but everyone loves to kind of fight in World's Edge because they're so comfortable in it. And the pace of this is kind of like a, you know, it's not like a rank game, it's kind of like a better version of a rank game, but it's got that kind of pace.
Yeah, no, ranked, you're like 11 squads after round 1, but this is round number 3, so it's definitely a slower pace than ranked, but it's definitely a faster pace than what we're used to seeing. Bursty took that car off of Knocked, and he was trying to continue on that pressure. He only gets 1 before he falls, and now Fearing Live is left in a 1v2 versus Elevate here. Fearing Live doesn't even have his bubble. He does have the defensive bombardment at the very least, but if he knows where they're knocked, maybe he can try and secure the thirsts with these rampage shots from Golden connecting onto 2. Arcstar to force him out of position. He holds the angle, and it looks like it will connect. Hits for Flesh. The defensive bombardment will go down. Will it be able to secure the thirst? At the very least, no, it will not, as they were able to get the res. Mercy only is back up. Elevates winning out this fight up against Razor.
That was actually the 30-30, Jamerson. It looked like the Rampage at first, because rarely do you see someone hitting shots with the 30-30 with the red dot so cleanly right there. And I gotta say, that is some really great tracking coming out of E8. Wow, taking down Razor so quickly. Presley with the PK on the stairs over towards the dome, man. That was some really nice play. Good maneuvering, great shots. I mean, that PK was hitting for at least 90 or 100 in those instances. And then that 30-30 from across the map with the red dot too, which again is just not easy to go and put down. Really nice job from EA. And again, we've seen Mercy Only so many times in Series E. Golden's been one of the newest players that we've been watching and has been very impressive, and we all know what Presley can do as well. So it's nice to see them put things together, and we'll see where this zone is going to go as it starts to close out. You do have the beacon scan over towards the backhand side. It's a little too late for that one because the zone's going to chip away too hard, but it's continuing to pull over towards Dome. So E8 right now in a great spot.
Yeah, it's going to be a Western Dome ending just basically on the eggshell there, so they can play inside. I mean, the game state is so awkward. We have half the teams remaining here. No one else is contesting the Dome side. Up at the Vault Tunnel, though, TDG, remember, they were the squad that ended up taking out Wingman Season. That's Noko and Stunny. And them going down so early on. I'm wondering if it's like a contest that's happening up. And like Climatizer, I'm trying to remember if Cloud9 was competing today. But I don't think they are. So
I don't think so.
Yeah, TDG, if they keep winning that 50-50, there's only 2 games left on World's Edge after this.
Yeah, and that's not an easy team to do so. I mean, Wingman Season, those guys have been playing out of their minds in the Challenger Series too. So it's a team that's possibly going through the relegation era of what's happening in the ALGS, and a team that potentially could end up going through the relegation is Excedrin. But look at the way they're shooting today. 107 with the PK. Are you kidding me? Plus taking down the Gibby shield. There goes the grab lift, but it's being used offensively by the enemy team. That is Nerf. This is a huge fight between the 2 teams that are fighting for top 3.
Oh no, Cruisin turns around from that fight because of the defensive bombardment. Now the third party comes in. Excedrin are wiped out. Team Nerf, they get the res, and they're allowed to go for the reset. That squad, a bit more busy looting outside instead.
They have to move, and the thing is about having the inside. You earned this spot by getting there early. We've seen teams desperately play that outside way too much, and we've seen teams get flown in on while they're mid-fight for the team that's inside, and that's exactly what happened right there for Excedrin. Super unfortunate, but TDG, they made their way outside of the Vault Tunnel now, and it looks like they are trying to get over towards the back of where E8 was, but E8, we know they're not having that. They've been protecting this dome with their lives.
Presley and Golden going big. TDG are now knocked out. We're down to 8 full squads remaining. Elevate clearing out the major threat. Another team has shown up. It looks like just outside and above, but Golden is on that caustic, slowing things down. These doors have not been griefed. They are locked from the inside. So Gas Station Gaming are going to have a rough go of things that they want to try and advance into this building for now. You can see every team starting to show up, and we do have that final ring pull. It's going to be on the western edge of Dome side. A little bit of the eggshell is in, so teams can play in there, can play up top as well. Liquid getting their kills now, as Mercy only from Elevate gets a knock onto Icy River with a cheeky peek, and the Arcstar connect, and now Jet will fall next. Novice is the only one up for his squad, and no one can stop E8 right now.
Mercy was just so disgusting with that Arcstar, and then the shot after that too. But it's interesting to see Gas Station Gaming do so well. They were the kill leaders for quite some time. I think they're going for that Mobile One sponsorship for next season there, Jamerson, as OXG slow playing this. Kubsky came in and filled for what? Team Intel yesterday. But he's back with his full squad over here on the Oxygen Gaming side. And this is kind of what I was talking about yesterday as well. They're not a team that's looking for a lot of kill points. They've always been a placement point team. That's what Kubsky really specializes, is putting his team in great positions towards the tail end game. And that was why the team fighting was taking a little bit to warm up for the Intel squad when you don't have your full squads. So we'll see what they're going to be able to do. I mean, the problem is again, you want to make sure that you're getting those placement points, but you have to finish this off with a top 3 performance, a dub, or at least a ton of kills from these final squads that remain.
Yeah, and for Oxygen, they're in a really strong position. They've got a lot of natural cover to play off of. Luke needs to start setting down these barrels, though. He's sitting on 3. Doesn't look like he has actually any out on the ground. Ooh, boy, Fun taking a lot of damage there as they try to move up. He's going to have to reset, and you're going to need time for that. 37 seconds, though, as they have to continue to move across this lava field, and Fun cannot take a single tick from the ring, or he will go down the black hole right on top of him. Follow-up missile swarm, Ronnie from Atlanta Premier ends up getting the knock onto Fun. Now every team keeping an eye on Team Liquid to try and finish them off. They are running right into Team Nerf. Gildersons gets the knock onto 1, finds the second. Actually, that's Asura with the nade. And it looks like Team Liquid on the verge of getting knocked out, but Gildersons will go ahead and secure at least top 4 for Team Liquid.
how was Gilderson's able to live throughout all of that when it was already a 2v3? There was a little bit of a miscall, I think, from Nocturnal. I felt like they were on the verge of going for the Skyward Dive, and they said, hey, let's just go foot it. Either way, they could have been left for dead, as Liquid does go out in 4th place. But Nerf had the positioning. They had the great black hole. The shots from Ronnie are looking good. The wingman has just been so impressive over the last 24 hours from our players here in Series Z. They've been just absolutely dominating. Atlanta Premier is one of those teams that was a little heartbreaking to watch what happened to them in the ALGS. They came out with some strong top 3 performances. They were looking like a team that was potentially going to go and qualify for Stockholm, and then they slowed down a little bit. And you would love to see Atlanta Premier bounce back today with a strong performance.
Yeah, sometimes L's like that though can reignite, you know, your competitive drive and try to get a mental reset on that. And right now, Elevate though, they've been doing an amazing job playing inside of a dome and been able to hold out this position. But now they're the ones stuck inside of the dome. They've got teams to either side of them, and no one trying to play on the western edge. It's the final 3 teams, by the way. We got Atlanta Premier, we got Elevate, along with Oxygen here for the final fight as round number 6 is starting to close.
When you look at the positioning, Elevate is in kind of a tough spot, right? Because they're going to end up being the meat of the sandwich once they start to push up. And it almost decides which way they look, left or right, is going to determine who's going to be the team that ends up winning this. Because you want to be able to save your resources. That's why that missile swarm from Ronnie was so smart. Just to push those players back on over there, continue to just lay down fire. Great idea from Ronnie. And he didn't have any heavy ammo when we switched onto his screen previously. But he's in a great position to try to back these players back on over towards Oxygen and get this dub for Atlanta Premier.
And really, it was just a small move from Atlanta Premier to back away from their position just a little bit to try and force E8 into fighting Oxygen. But it looks like Elevate ended up trying to full push out. That left with few options here. Now Ronnie going to retake height on this Valk. He's got the angle above them. Gets the crack onto one. Now Urban's getting pushed below. Ronnie gets the knock. Nice. Atlanta Premier will finish things off here in game number 1 with the win.
Some really great maneuvering there from the tail end from all the Atlanta Premier squad members. I mean, just to go down, place the caustic barrels down below, take a flank, and then Ronnie saying, hey, I'm the player that has the movement. I need to be getting the height and taking the high ground over towards this rock before I decide to heal was huge. Everything from the missile swarm, pushing those players on over towards the side. Elevate didn't decide which way they wanted to go, and they kind of split up in between the two, but that was really tough for Elevate. But you got to give it to Atlanta Premier. I mean, that was so smart for everyone to kind of split up, and then Ronnie to come back on over towards the rock to take the off angle really helped get the dub.
Extremely well played late game there for Atlanta Premier, securing that victory. We're going to take a break, and when we get back, we'll have game number 2 of Series E Pro Night right after this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Atlanta Premier with the win there in game number 1. Negotiating the interesting terrain there in the final circle, playing patiently, and they grab the win. And this is a squad that's, you know, been up and down as of late. I was really impressed, as were a lot of people. They were one of the biggest surprises in the playoffs after split 1 of the ALGS. And then they came into split 2. I certainly had high expectations, and they didn't quite perform there. But looking to have a bounce back, of course, a team that will be competing in the LCQ for champs. And definitely, I would say, keep an eye on Atlanta Premier. This is a solid roster that, when they are playing at their best, can compete with some of the best in North America. But let's check out our player of the game to start off the day. Our first game on World's Edge, and it's going to go to our good friend Ronnie. 5 kills and an assist in this one. Over 1,100 damage. So not crazy in the damage department, but very efficient play from Ronnie and the AP squad here, and it's a reason that they are the Apex Legends of game number 1, kicking off the first half real well. 2 more games, of course, on World's Edge before we jump over to Storm Points. We'll have to see if Atlanta Premier can keep things rolling here in game number 2. A lot of interesting fights there in the late circle. Elevate, as well as Oxygen in the mix there at the end. So we'll have to see how things shake out as the night continues. But well played there from AP. They grab your first win, and player of the game honors here to kick off the night. 1 game in the books and 5 more to go. We're going to a quick break right now, but when we come back, we'll check out our first setup on that Mobile One leaderboard and get you ready for game 2.
Versus coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. The memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. With the balls and the breaks, I'm talking one chance, I was so good for the goal. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go! Etc. I'm fading!
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast.
Excedrin, game over for headaches.
It's fruit refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0 calorie treat. They're all our top flavored splash.
It's fruit freshen.
All right, welcome back to Series E. Just before the break, Atlanta Premier took a very big win in game number 1, and it was just an extremely clean late game finish for them.
It really was. You love the way that Ronnie was able to position himself. I love the caustic barrels down towards the side, but they maneuvered all around the terrain so well, and I was really impressed to see how Atlanta Premier is going back to that form that we were talking about, how they started off in the ALGS and having some really big performances. We know Ronnie was a part of the former Nestle Splash team, and that was a really fun to watch him kind of develop over time, and he's looking like a serious contender right now for one of our most improved players just in general. So, Ronnie played amazing that game. I thought Turns was on fire yesterday. I'm excited to see what the rest of the games have in store.
Yeah, let's check out the Mobile One leaderboard. And so Atlanta Premier ended up picking up 11 kills with that victory, coming out in first place, of course. E8 ended up in second place. Oxygen, unfortunately, I believe, despite coming in second, only ended up getting 2 kill points throughout all of that. So despite getting that +9, they did not get many kill points behind it. Liquid ended up out surviving them. Gilderson's with a huge play, surviving to 4th, taking out Nerf, and picking up kill points along the way. So Team Nerf definitely, have to give big shout outs to Gilderson. Since he's joined the squad, it looks like there has been pretty substantial turnaround for them.
Oh, 1000%. As we take a look at the Mobile One high performance moment to see who gets the crown from the previous game, and it could be that final moment that we were looking at towards the tail end. Remember, there was 3 squads right here. You saw Elevate over towards the dome. They were locking things down, and the way that Elevate was team fighting, you say who's going to be able to stop them? But we all know in Apex, a lot of times it comes down to positioning more than anything. no matter how good you're actually shooting. But this is the play from Ronnie that I really like. He says, you know what, I'm going to bail on my teammates over here, take this off angle on the Valkyrie with the jetpack, and it was perfect execution overall. So really great job from Atlanta Premier closing that game out.
Yeah, I mean, positioning, ring pull, so many things affect how the late game works out, but it's also about how you react to it. And Atlanta Premier did a great job. Both teams, Oxygen and Atlanta Premier, applying so much pressure onto Elevate there, but Oxygen still playing this one a little bit too passively, ends up giving away all these kills. Did not get a single one off of Elevate there throughout all of that, and it was just all Atlanta Premier. So the 11 kills coming up huge, 6 of them in these final 2 teams. So great job coming out from them. So we'll be joining on board with them once we head into game number 2. Now let's talk about game number 1. Started off kind of interesting. We had a lot of 50-50s taking place. Of course, the notable one is always going to be Xset versus CLG. The other one we had to talk about was that we had the TDG versus Wingman season. We didn't get to see that one taking place, but you have to imagine that it's taking place up there at Climatizer.
I'm excited to see the 50-50s. It's definitely one of the more exciting things to get things underway, but it also helps kind of set the pace for the rest of the squads too, because you see the third parties coming through as we take a look at the cumulative leaderboard. That's not populating live, but we'll continue to update you once we get all of the scores after the 6 games. But going back to the 50-50s, it creates a domino effect of team fighting, and that's why we saw so little squads going forward into zone number 3, right? Because the third party came through over towards the Harvester side, you saw a fourth party come through, and then everybody kind of started filtering in over towards the zone after that. And then we saw a lot of fighting happening over towards Lava City when Team Esports Arena was fighting, and they fought, what, 3 or 4 different teams in a matter of a minute and a half. So a really explosive game number 1, and kind of unorthodox considering how everyone usually plays.
Yeah, and that big pileup that happened down at Lava City as well eventually in round number 1 with Esports Arena, Razor, and Twisted Sin, I believe, that came in for that rotation and got involved in that whole affair there. Razor surviving a little bit longer until they ended up facing off against Elevated a little bit later on inside of Dome. We're still getting game number 2 set up. As soon as we do, we will, of course, be heading in. And now, this is the big thing that I've really been wanting to talk about more and more as we've had that format change, as we've added the second map into the competitive role, is that now there's less time for these teams. And when we're talking about 50-50s, we used to have 6 games where you get to kind of figure out how you want to do that. But now, because we have 3 maps on each, or 3 rounds on each map, you have less time to try and adjust to that. How do you deal with that kind of quick turnaround, Tom?
You avoid the 50-50s, realistically. I mean, that's the only thing that you can do. I do enjoy, the fast action pace, but from a competitive standpoint, nothing's worse than dying right off the rip and having to watch the rest of the game, because you feel like you can do just as good, if not better, than the players that you're watching. You're like, man, if only we would have landed someone differently, or maybe if I would have went this way instead of that way. It sucks, because you want to be in the game and you want to play and you want to learn. That's the point of the entire thing, is to practice and get better and apply your skills. So when you throw that away in the first 30 seconds because you haven't found a POI, or you're fighting over a POI, it could end up becoming frustrating. So we'll see if anyone gets frustrated in the upcoming games. That fight between Xset and CLG, though, it's a tale as old as time. It's been happening since the beginning of Season 4, and it's not going to stop.
Yeah, and speaking of domino effects, I mean, that was one where we saw Vizio getting slowed down on their rotation and getting caught out by Excedrin. So it does have lasting effects when it comes to the other squads in the lobby. Atlanta Premier are winners from game number 1. They've been dropping over here at Fragment West. Don't know if anyone's here to contest for Fragment East, so that might be a free beacon for them to move on over towards Xset, about to win out in this 50-50 once again up against CLG, pushing now to take out Nano. Now, it looks like they did lose out on one, but Mamba, will he be able to get the thirst? It doesn't look like it, as the Gibraltar has already made his way into that building. Hakulo is going to cover for the outside as the res comes through. He's going to back away just to rejoin his squad, though, but it's a 3v1 in Xset's favor.
Yeah, Xset looks like they have this one on lock again. Blue armor coming through. And that's just not going to be enough when you're going up in this 3 versus 1. They even hit him with the finisher, the BM, Jamerson. That's 2 in a row that CLG is going to be on the outside looking out. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, they're going to be going Harvester for the ALGS, right? When it comes to Stockholm, Sweden, when they made it in the playoffs. XSET, they're not in the playoffs. They're still contesting over and over again. And you can either, get frustrated or say, all right, well, we have to stop making these mistakes. What is happening in these 50-50s, and why are they getting the upper hand on us, especially when I don't know if this is even the full XSET squad. That's their normal roster, whether they're trying out Akilo or he's coming in and filling in. It's pretty rare to see a team with a new player like that come and do so well, as we see what's happening with TDG. Not right there onto Noko. So you're wondering where the fight was taking place. It's actually in Sky.
Now the big worry here is if this fight takes too long, Team Liquid just rolls in. And so last time around, I believe the fight took place pretty quickly. There weren't any real trades. This time there will be, as the double kick comes in. Zednim gets the knock onto Durango. Now Girl's gonna try and make her push onto this. She does set down a barrel to control the elevator shaft just a bit.
Smart.
Controlling the complete third floor, drops down, almost gets the one clip on two player, the Wraith, but it looks like Furia will end up getting this one, or at least Stunny, excuse me, comes in to secure that win for them. So Wingman Season, 1-for-1 now on the 50-50. No third party coming out from Team Liquid, as they're probably still taking trials.
That was a little bit of a misplay from Durango, unfortunately. I think he was the one that was sitting at the door, where he goes to and hit a cell, but instead backs away from the door, and then they hit him with the double kick there, and he doesn't even get a shot off. So one shot right there could have ended up maybe turning the tides of that fight, and it's unfortunate for TDG. They also didn't have a great armor advantage either, and that could have came into play. But if Girl had an opportunity to have that gun reloaded, I really feel like, based on the positioning of the barrels, plus the great job of maneuvering around the stairs so the Wraith player didn't see where she was going, was really, really smart, as the fighting doesn't stop for XSET. They are looking like they are not playing around today.
That's 2 full squads now that XSET have been able to pick up. So 5 or 6 kills there at the very least. So that's very nice. And they don't have to rotate far. Remember, coming from Harvester, we took a look at the ring. This one is pulling down towards Tree Side. Elevate already moving their way on in. We've got a lot of other squads starting to move in as well. It's round 1 will finish closing here. So a lot of action throughout the entirety. Round 1, I mean, closing now. Team Nerf. Go for that Valkyrie deploy. They do have a team to contend with here, and gotta be careful. They are a little bit disjointed in this push. Bubble down on the second floor. They're gonna go ahead and push through that stairwell. It looks like they've been forcing the other squad to the other half of this building at the very least, and gonna be up to turns here. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be up to turns. Getting an easy one clip onto Sykes now. Can they follow up? Can they chase down this kill? It looks like Demi's gonna go for that peek to try and secure this thirst at the very least, pushing all the way to the other end here. He's got to be careful. He's on his ones right now, but his squad has shown up as Crack comes out onto him. Turns! He's going to have to be careful now, as he's been dropped down to about 10 HP, but there it is. Demi shows up to finish him off with the help of Turns. That's Renegades going down.
And I believe Renegades is one of those teams that lands over here in this particular POI, so Nerf's going to come through and bully their way, not getting any knocks onto Nerf either. So really nice job taking down one of our strongest teams in here. Renegades, one of the teams that were in the Pro League split, but I believe they weren't able to make it and over towards the playoffs. They're more on the side of the potential relegation, and then they stepped it up over towards the tail end. Also, Saucer no longer on that team, and they ended up going with the new third, which hopefully ends up working out for them. I would love to see Renegades continue to put up some amazing games. Madness, one of our most successful players that we have in all of Apex. What a yeet from the bubble right there from Nocturnal. Liquid going to get the scan onto the next zone. I know, he knows exactly where that thing's going to go. Also, I want to give an opportunity to shout out all the trolls in the chat. Why don't you guys relax a little bit, realize how much work goes in behind the scenes for all these things, and that the people that are working behind the scenes are human too, and everyone is here because they love Apex. Why don't we just enjoy that moment? How about that?
Team Liquid enjoying a nice stroll through the mine pass right now, making their way towards the Harvester side. And I mean, they already had a great start in the last game, despite, you know, running into some issues on that rotate for round number 6. Gildersons came up with a huge play for them, keep them in the running, putting them in the top 3 here. We'll see if they can continue that. For Splash, though, they've been able to move their way into the thermal station side. They'll be camping that beacon on the southeast side, and so they'll be able to play off of that for a few rings now and use that Valkyrie redeploy when they need to. If there's a very wonky ring pull, I don't really expect it to. It should be going into that back pocket of Tree. Xset, though, looking for another fight, as they do have that team coming out from Mind Pass. That was Team Liquid, I believe.
I want to see Xset continue to put this pressure on. They are dooming right now, and they haven't really left their POI. You can tell they are ready to fight any single team in the vicinity. This is more of like an open day move than a pro day move. The fact that they're willing to risk all these fights and not end up getting third party goes to show you they came out to play today, Jamerson. And if you're confident and you're winning these fights early on against one of our top 10 teams in North America, why not, right? Test the limits of your game and see what you can do and how many points you could put up.
Yeah, I mean, you're already warmed up off of 2 fights, right? But definitely getting slowed down by the first 50-50 with CLG, and then that next fight that came in afterwards as they were trying to move down to the south just completely delayed them. So there's no shot for them to try and play center zone. They're just going to go ahead and hard commit to the edge here, so Team Liquid need to find another way in. They might actually be getting collapsed on right now by Wingman Season, but it's here on the eastern side, just outside of Big Mod Esports Arena. Might have a team on the ropes here. Defensive bombardment bubble has already been used as well. Skittlecake's on the front line, gonna chase them down, popping the barrels for his team as he goes forward. The slide into Dress's knock, and now Skittlecake is gonna push up. Defensive bombardment is gonna be used here, but the sliver allows the Arcstar to get in. He'll get the re-knock as well, and Team Razor get absolutely demolished in this fight. Duplex might go down, but it looks like he will survive. Here are the Thirsts. He does have a quick armor swap, and he is right back on the hunt for the last member of Team Razor.
Love seeing Skittlecakes on multiple legends, right? Played Horizon previously, switches on over to the Caustic that's been so successful for this ASI squad. And this is the composition that was being ran by them very early on, and everyone kind of started to adapt to that one, mainly because Skittlecakes is so darn powerful. Are they leaving without Duplex? Later, Duplex. See you, kid.
They're 100% chasing after the kill here, and they can't wait for Duplex, or that kill will ultimately get away. Dupe can just go ahead and anchor from the back anyhow as that Gibraltar. Of course, you would love to have the Gibraltar there for the bubble on the drop, but it looks like they might have been able to sandwich this last player, the slide down. They just triangulate his position, and he is stuck. Oh, man. This is rough, but it looks like Team Esports Arena will be able to get that last kill onto Fearing Live.
Poor Fearing Live gets duped out in the middle of World's Edge. That's gotta hurt, but you love to see the plays from Esports Arena. They are not messing around, playing aggressive. Right now, I want to see Xset and Esports Arena duke it out, and like an arena style 3-on-3 type of fight. As you see, Furia is making their way on over towards Tree, and you know that zone is definitely pulling over there. A handful of different zones over towards Tree. This is one of the endings inside of the trailer. And Panders, he's going to be rocking that Watson, which the value of Watson here inside of this building is not even really a building in a little trailer. It's pretty solid, right? You have a great spot to put the gen. Everybody knows where to put the fences in this type of instance too, so he's just going to continue to try to get these charges in.
Yeah, and you can see the difference that it makes. Instead of committing a bat into that, you just commit a cell or two, and you're right back at the top. Ooh, a knock from Zednim on to next set member here. We'll see if Wingman Season can continue to chase. It looks like they're ready to just hold this choke point for now. Do have a strange pull coming out from this ring. A lot of it looks like maybe even a fence line ending for this one if it doesn't continue to pull down to the south. Zednim needs some time though to heal up here. Looks like they do spot out another team coming out from behind, so I'm glad Wingman Season took that time to go for that reset instead of chasing out the kills.
Yeah, and they're playing this popular high ground area, which is just third-party central, though, probably one of the most popular third-party spots in all of World's Edge, because you know teams end up coming on over from the choke. Teams start coming from the back end of Thermal Station on the opposite side of the choke too. So this is a difficult spot to go and hold. And a lot of this does end up coming down to what Noko's decision making is going to be. When he throws his bubble down, when he ends up using his offensive bombardment. And we'll see what the rotation is going to be like too. 14 squads, that's still a decent amount. Not as fast paced as we saw in game number 1. But you're still in the next zone for when round 2 closes. They have the skin onto round 3 too. So there's plenty of time to decide exactly how they want to approach the situation.
For Team Liquid, they were able to make it onto the high ground just to the northwest of Tree. I'm able to hold this passive position for some time. Will be incredibly strong for basically any ring that this one can pull off to, unless it goes to like basically the middle of tree inside of that triangle, then it could be a little bit detrimental. But of course, they've got that skyward dive to try and use the out of bounds on top of the leaf there, and then delay their push on down up top. So a lot of ways you can flex and play this position. They're just waiting for this ring knowledge as well. If they want to, they can try and slide around from the thermal side to pick up that beacon, but I don't know if they'll be able to. I believe there was a team camping that just before.
So much ammo here for Nocturnal in this 30-30. He could just rip across the map if he really wanted to. And that's the Cat's Cradle that we're hoping for. Way to go, Panders. No one's getting in there, bro.
And I'm glad that he still has like the senses, right? Like this is just like knowledge of like Watson and how to play it. So it's just the instant reaction that teams, because they had to play Watson for so long, players had to play Watson for so long, they just have it ingrained in muscle memory at this point. For Team Excedrin, they are playing fence line just north of Tree right now. They're watching their back to see if anyone comes in from that Harvester side, but for Twisted Sin, trying to gatekeep a squad inside of Lava Siphon. This spot can be a little bit difficult to hold. You have to be careful because if you end up peeking backwards too far, you can get clapped up top on that platform. Team Esports Arena now starting to make their advance onto Twisted Sin as the air burst nades come out, narrowly missing. Gonna wait out the counter scan from the Bloodhound on that squad as more nades do drop in, but they're not getting the connects quite yet. They need a backup Skittle Cakes here. They did take a lot of damage. Now they do use that Nox Gas grenade on the first floor, but it looks like the player was able to get back up top, and so it's a full 3 up there. Noct, will he be able to get the one clip? He gets tagged from a player over by Tree, unfortunately, stopping the push completely. Along with this defensive bombardment, Esports Arena have expended a lot of tools here and have not gotten much at all.
Noct is such a smart player. I mean, the idea of taking on over towards the high ground with the jetpack, realizing that he's not getting shot by the team that's directly below him, but a team on over towards the side, and you can see they've been ADSing on top of this platform for quite some time. Maybe time to hit that Beast of the Hunt because they are full sending over there. Duplex coming through on the zip line, full Asus style. Now you see the finger rolls coming in from Skittle Cakes. That's definitely going to be at least 1 KP, maybe some more, and all 3 players from Twisted Sin GG get the Esports Arena treatment. And I'm not talking about y'all in the chat getting banned.
Whew. That was a little bit close there for Skittle Cakes, but ultimately it was a clean fight for Team Esports Arena. Like I said, you gotta always be worried about that backside when you're playing the platform. Teams from the Tree have such good vantage point onto that platform as Wingman Season have moved their way on down, continuing to watch their back. It does seem like there's a team behind them as putting a lot of attention here. Maybe they're just waiting for it to back out. 10 more seconds, the ring will finish up closing, and this is not a ring that you want to be eating damage from. Now, the big question is, how is Wingman Season going to respond to Team Liquid? Keeping them from that high ground. They do have, of course, that Valkyrie deployed to use. Exit just used one of their own to get inside of Tree, and Team Liquid end up getting the ring pull going over towards them. Exit with the reset are trying to slide out, but a lot of teams are working their way in from the eastern side. Esports Arena is one of them, and they're picking up more and more kills. Exit now just down to Kenny here, and Esports Arena have been basically matching Xset, and so now with knocking Xset out, they have clearly the kill leads in the lobby currently.
I'm terrified for everybody in this lobby right now with the way Esports Arena is playing. Skittle Cakes with that devotion, the flatline in the back pocket. You have Noct who's rocking the flatline as well. The R301 from Duplex is looking on point. See if this Nox Gas Grenade does anything. He's eating a lot of damage over towards the side. Great bubble coming in from Duplex. Lots of medkits though too. Very rarely see someone rock 5 medkits, but now ESA is on the run. It doesn't look like they're being focused quite yet with any defensive bombardments or nades. What a great play getting on out of there as Nerf's adding the pressure.
Yeah, Nerf playing off the truck position here from the high ground was trying to find anything. Now they do spot out Esports Arena huddled behind that, but you can see the great damage coming out. Forcing Force immediately back. He knows that he cannot challenge that on his ones. They need to go for the reset here, and they also need to figure out how they're going to move up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams currently collapsed on the eastern side of this zone. Nerf are going to try and skip past everyone by hugging the south side. They are getting challenged by Vizio throughout all of this. And that's allowing Esports Arena now to start kind of tailing behind them. They have to watch their back or the third party will be so quick. Vizio playing off from that triangle here, trying to keep Nerf at bay. Airburst nade out from Scissors. We'll see another one coming in if he gets a big connect. Oh! Does not get the armor crack, but he does dish out a lot of damage to peek out from the left-hand side. Scissors now watching the right, and what a prediction as he holds that angle, but it's a full push out from Force as he gets that first knock onto Scissors. Damage traded back as Fury is the only one that's able to trade back, and that just means Esports Arena is probably going to come in for the third party here right behind them as Fury does secure the last kill. That's actually going to be Wave. Davis Wave coming in for that one as a third party, but Vizio ultimately goes down. Here's Esports Arena getting a free rotate in thanks to that combat.
Wow, I can't believe that Nerf was able to put that much damage down over towards the side, but they got cleaned up fairly quickly as Vizio now ends up going out in 9th place. This looks like ESA's game. I mean, the way that they've been able to maneuver this entire time, knock with the car again, continue to put in damage with this gold mag. R301 on the Gibby is just so strong in Duplex's hands. I'm shocked they don't have even more kills, but there is still 7 full squads remaining here as Skittlecake still is rocking the gold mag, the devotion with the turbocharger. Their kit is just so strong right now, Jamerson.
And for Team Liquid, they were able to pick up a full team fight win as well up against Nestle Splash. That brings us down to 6 squads now. Big question is, how much of this high ground is still in for Team Liquid? Is it going to be playable just above that tunnel exit? They're going to be heading on over there, and it looks like they will be safe up here. So this is going to be a great passive position going into ring number 6, as it looks like Elevate make their push onto Esports Arena, but Kimchi Lee ends up coming in to steal away one of those kills. But now Esports Arena still maintaining control over the triangle. A lot of it is in on those railways there, as you can see, so they'll be able to play off of those blue boxes at the very least.
You can see again where Fury has been set up. They were anticipating this type of zone pull here, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Wingman Season and Team Liquid staggered how the way that they are, because you know if you end up having to eventually drop, the team down below is going to focus you, and you have all of these teams that are trying to add pressure. So right now, if you're Team Liquid, you're basically hoping that someone makes a mistake and runs out in the open, but that's ESA that you're talking about. They're not going to make any major mistakes. Right now, Tech seems to be the only one that's poking out. He ends up getting back inside, as you also see Elevate being eliminated by ESA, who's just continuing their tear and their run. It's wild that Team Liquid decides that they don't want to really pressure this area, because when you're holding this area top tree, that is the one spot that you don't want to be worried about. They could have 6 players focusing on them right now, and they've just been running around for free over here.
Now, Esports Arena need to maintain control over these railings here, or like you said, Team Liquid could go for that Skyward Dive to just go ahead and take this. And just go ahead and drop on top of the leaf. They call it a tree, but it's just one big leaf. You can drop on that leaf and then wait it out and go for OOB. But it looks like right now, Fury getting pushed. Kimchi Lee has already gone down, cruising last one up. But Skittle Cakes will be able to steal that kill away. This is a monstrous game now for Esports Arena. They have already been well clear within the double digits range for kills. They have to be near 15 at this point. The defensive bombardment going down. Well, they've got a Watson generator in there. It doesn't stop the gas, but they will be able to back away at the very least and try to get them passive heals. Push out from Esports Arena, and they have no cares in the world. They're hoping the other 2 teams fight, and that should be what's taking place, as Liquid should be dropping down onto Wingman Season here, but they have traded. It looks like, no, not quite yet. No one's gone down on the Liquid side. They need to reset. It's the final 2v2. Team Liquid versus Esports Arena.
Look how good Esports Arena is. They are not messing around. They knew, Jamerson, just like you were talking about, both those teams that were coexisting on the high ground beneath the train tunnel had the fight, and they cleaned up almost every single team in that lobby. They may have not gotten the full squad wipes, but they were really close to getting involved in almost every single team fight that happened through a majority of that game. Esports Arena popping off.
That's absolutely insane because it was every stage of the way where they had to play their position like immaculately. Any mistake would have meant that they lost the game, but instead they came up with the perfect plays every single time. Great job coming up from Esports Arena, securing our second win of the day. We're going to go ahead and take a short break, though. When we get back, it'll be our final time on World's Edge for this week. You're not going to want to miss it, especially after a performance like that. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with more Series E.
Versus coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Get the bars in the breaks. I'm talking one chance that was so good for the code. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Welcome back, everybody. Game 2 all set there in Esports Arena. Absolutely frying the lobby. They take out Team Liquid at the end to grab the win here in game number 2, following up Atlanta Premier's win in game number 1. And I can tell you for a fact, 22 kills for Esports Arena in that second game, absolutely demolishing the lobby, and that is definitely going to jump them up near the top of that Mobile One leaderboard when we check it out when we go back to Jamerson and T-Square. But a huge game from the ESA boys here. Of course, the #1 team coming out of Split 2 of the ALGS. They're looking to go to Stockholm very, very soon, and they're looking to build on this incredible form right now. Let's check out our player of the game here. Who from Esports Arena is going to grab it? It's Skittlecakes. Not a huge surprise there. 9 kills and 5 assists on the Caustic. Over 2,500 damage. Skittlecakes absolutely popping off in this game. 9 of the 22 kills going to him, and that's a huge showing. And of course, Skittlecakes, has really stepped up. Of course, we talked a lot a few months ago when Verhulst was still on the roster before he went to TSM. It was really the Verhulst show. He was carrying the load of the fragging, and the great thing is that Skittlecakes has stepped up and was good when Verhulst was here, but has just found another level in the new iteration of the roster with Noct coming in, and Skittlecakes with a huge performance in game 2, and a big reason why Esports Arena finishes on top in that one. So well played from Skittlecakes and the whole Esports Arena squad. Maybe looking to get another Pro Night first place finish under their belt here today. So well played. Do want to remind you folks, if you're looking to pick up products from any of our partners here at Esports Arena, maybe you're looking for a new Razer mouse, a brand new Vizio TV to game on like this beautiful one behind me here, you can grab all of those products over at walmart.com/esports arena. Head over there today, grab everything you need. Again, that's walmart.com/esports arena. We're going to go to a break right now. When we come back, the final game of the first half before we head over to Storm Point.
All right, welcome back, guys, to Series E. I hope you guys didn't miss Game 2 because it was an absolute treat to watch, especially from the Esports Arena side. Let's check in with the Mobile 1 leaderboard to see what that means for Esports Arena. Game number 1 didn't quite go their way. They ended up going down very early on. They did pick up a few kills, but it's here with, I believe, a 34-point game, propelling them into first place, Tom.
Like you said, Jamerson, they could not afford to make any mistakes with the style that they were playing. It was a run and gun style. It was a positional style. But they wanted to test the waters with every single team along the way. And they had a plan how to approach every single team. They're getting armor checks. They're finding out who's going to be taking positions where, who's using their utility when they needed to. It doesn't really get much better than that when you're watching Apex.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, it's you know, a lot of individual plays as well that kind of accumulates into the amazing performance they had. But let's go ahead and talk about that as we talk about the Mobile 1 high performance moment. We have to remember there was one point where Nerf had a beautiful angle on them, but just a quick spray down from one of the members of Esports Arena made him think twice about that. Here is the final push coming out from Esports Arena. It's a 4-team engagement. You have 2 squads. You see Liquid along with Wingman Season stacked on top of each other. And so you know in this 4-team situation, what's going to happen is 2 separate 2v2s, or excuse me, 3v3s happening across the board. And it's a quick cleanup from Esports Arena. They get the armor swaps, and then they instantly shift on to Team Liquid here, not really giving them the chance to go for a full reset.
And you can see Gilderson wants to go and heal. Like you said, not any opportunities to go for the reset there, but they also stole a kill to boot on the very tail end of that fight. And that's what they were doing over and over again. It's really surprising, again, that Liquid wasn't focusing them when they had the opportunity to. Maybe they just didn't have the right weapons for that long-range type of engagement. And that's that spot where you really shouldn't be able to hold it as well as Esports Arena did, but they were fighting back, they were shooting back. Anytime that Liquid started to peek them, the focus immediately went back on over towards the high ground. And then whenever, I believe it was Wingman Season directly below Team Liquid would shoot back, they got punished as well. And it was like one player shooting against 3 players each and every single time. It's wild to think that a team can be that strong in all the different facets of the game. And you got to give credit for them switching back to their original composition. I feel like they may have picked Horizon by accident, or they were just kind of trying to, you know, mess around and have some fun with that one, because that's what they end up playing on Storm Point. But you could just see once Skittle Cakes is on point with this Caustic, there's really not much that you can do. I mean, his barrels are really strong. You have Knock coming through with the support. Everyone's playing so well. Duplex with his bubbles, his defensive bombardments are there. The, you know, process of tossing the Nox gas grenade away from where the generator was from Watson too, so they all have to be filtered into that little corner. It was just genius play. I mean, nobody wasted grenades, nobody did any mistakes, just really great, methodical, almost textbook Apex the entire game.
They did such a fantastic job. 22 kills in a lobby like this is not an easy feat whatsoever, especially with how quickly they had to react from situation to situation as well. This wasn't just kind of like, oh, we take an isolated fight here, we take an isolated fight here. It was multiple multi-team engagements that they had to navigate, and did so expertly. And I really want to give kudos out to what happened around Ring 4, where they were kind of stuck out on the outskirts of Tree, where they had to figure out how to walk in with that one, trailing behind, slowly coming up into the middle triangle of Tree to take that position away, fully controlling it, taking it away from Elevate, who were also, we knew from last game, team fighting pretty damn well, and also taking out Xset, who were the other teams that we were looking at in game number 2. But here we go. One last game on World's Edge for tonight. Let's join on board with our winners from game number 2, Team Esports Arenas. Of course, go ahead and take their usual drop down by Lava City along with Big Mod.
As much as I want to jump on board with them, it's you know, it's our respect that we always pay to the winners of the previous game. That's just how we do it. But we know, yes, the 50-50s are going down. Xset versus CLG, baby. This is all that matters.
This is the importance. You can see Clane immediately taking middle position here. for his squad, taking all of that away from them, all that loot as well. But did have Kenny just a little bit disconnected. He is, of course, on that Valkyrie, so he can retake height, but CLG have learned their lesson from last time. They're here up as a full 3, so it looks like for now, this fight is going to be a little bit more protracted. They're trying their best to pick up whatever they can, but really not picking up much. A massive in the hands of Mamba. He's backing away to try and find more loot, and this is where things can go bad for them. We'll see, though, as it looks like that fight, Wingman Season versus TDG, it's going in the favor of TDG once again.
CLG's like, really? Out of all the times now, that's when you guys decide to run? And they are straight chasing with the Mastiff and 6 bullets over here for CLG. As you see, a couple of kills did go on over to Girl in that TDG squad, so really nice job by them. But you can see the third parties are going to potentially come from Team Liquid. Noko's still alive from Wingman Season, so you definitely got to pay attention to that one. When we look at this zone, Jamerson, you would think that would pull more Southern over towards Thermal side, but staging is taking up a lot of that. It's kind of tough to predict exactly where this one's going to go.
Yeah, multiple staging endings here. Might be North staging on the train tracks. Exit getting hunted down. 1 player remaining now for Exit. CLG don't care. Like you said, they've already secured their spot in Sweden. Not like this is more about ego and, you know, just pride than anything else. So CLG will be able to finish off Exit, get the +3 there, but they are in no man's land. They're in the northern side of Lava's Siphon here. We'll see if they get collapsed on, but it looks like no team ready to rotate quite yet, but they are in the path of a lot of rotators. Here they are starting to show up now, so they've got to be careful how they navigate this rotation.
Yeah, it's like, was it worth it? We don't leave with any loot. You have about 40 bullets in your weapon overall. Little to no healing. As it's nice to see Jimmy on Ash over here instead of Lifeline. It definitely had to have been some sort of mistake by accidentally picking that and being a little bit AFK for the beginning. And shout out to Jimmy. He was rocking, you know, Lifeline in a rank match previously to this. Also not easy to do. So we'll see if Ash is going to treat him any better.
I mean, it at least gives us the, like, 0.01 pick rate on Mercy for the season at the very least, right? So we're getting some representation from the less played legends. I mean, what haven't we seen? We've seen the Mad Maggie. We haven't seen the Seer.
No Mirage.
We've seen some Cryptos. No Mirage. Yeah. I did see a Mirage in Challenger Circuit once, though.
Had to be on accident. I pulled a Jimmy. That's what we're gonna call that, when he pulled a Jimmy. But realistically, I mean, I don't see anything that would make these legends viable for competitive. They are a ton of fun to mess around with and troll with, but realistically, the best thing for Mirage is his, you know, sneaky res that he has, and that's pretty fun. But Pickett was one of those players that put Mirage to serious use, and we've seen him in scrims way back in the day win off of that and really refusing to switch off of anybody else. So shout out to Matt Pickett if he's here or wherever he is, one of our OGs inside of Series Z. And really always loved watching that team continue to play. And I don't think Starfight is here today. We haven't seen them, but hopefully we get to see them next week as we see Crypto. You asked for the Crypto, Jamerson, and they delivered.
But how much longer are we going to watch it? Renegades already got a knock onto 1. We'll see if they can chase this one down, but they really don't want to poke out from here. You know that you're kind of like in a bowl of death when you're playing on the low side of staging, so poking out can be extremely dangerous. Looks like Oxygen once again on their last feet as Kupski got re-knocked there. Ghost now trying to find an engagement, but unfortunately they weren't able to get them in the early stages of that animation. Looks like another team might have shown up though, but that squad is going to go ahead and deuce on out of there. So Ghost not able to find the opportunity to pick up these early kill points. Now, this game not as fast so far as we had in game number 1 and 2. Are they just going to chase after them, or are they going to go for the rotate?
Maybe they're going to pick up Rakinishu on the way in the air, imagine.
Tag him midair. Hey, come on.
grab his hand. Come on, get in here. We're going all the way to Epicenter. But no, Rakinishu was taking the balloon on over towards the Overlook side. And, you know, with the initial damage on there, it seems like they have, you know, decent armors on the enemy side. I think we saw a gold and a blue, so I'm not quite sure what the play is here for Ghost Gaming. Then again, Series E is all about opportunities to work on certain things, and when you get an opportunity to play against all these other pro teams, that's exactly what you want to do and try to build your confidence up, especially with a new roster like this.
Oh, they get the knock. That's going to be Kleptic going down, and that's why you don't take the zip lines when you're trying to run away, man. You just lock yourself into that trajectory, and now they're on the hunt. They just need to pick up 2 more kills here, as Impulse is going to lead the way, of course, on that Valkyrie, still giving chase on to the remaining members of this squad. And it's just going to run out of space eventually here. We'll see if he can cut them off, as he is trying to get ahead of them right now, or at least find an angle to try and slow them down. Looks like they've turned into market quite possibly, so you gotta be careful now. Still on your ones here. One right underneath him. We'll see if he spots that out, and he hasn't. He should have been able to hear them actually right behind, but never mind. It looks like they're just gonna go ahead and run past. So Ghost gonna continue to give up the chase. We'll see if they can find the rest of the members of this squad. So this is gonna be a long affair. This is some determination coming out from Ghost.
Why is every single kill this game ending up like this? Where it's just like one person chasing halfway across the map. That's going to be Cracked Bear getting cracked in the face right there with the wingman shots. Impulse's wingman has been on point today. I like the idea of going with the Phoenix kit too instead of using the battery because you have plenty of time right here. But it's unfortunate for these players that are running away. It's like, really? Y'all are still chasing me? What is going on over here? And regarding the other player that was hiding, sometimes hiding in the middle of the road is just the best play, apparently.
You got the deer in the headlights look, and no one can actually believe that you're just standing out there, so they just run past. It's an NPC. Esports Arena starting to make their way on in. Of course, Esports Arena, they take their time. They get their loot. Unfortunately for them, despite having that, you know, mod and Lava City drop, they only have the blue armors. We'll see if they can get a little bit more here. Maybe they take a pit stop inside Harvester to try and utilize the replicator there to get the free upgrades. Team Liquid, though, now showing up. Team Ghost is probably the squad that's down here. Liquid starting things off. Nocturnal, big hits on the wingman, actually only connecting with the 2 for 35 and the 45. Now buying time for Fun and Gilderson's to join. His arm shield takes the bulk of that damage. He's going to use that cell to top off. It looks like Ghosts have done a good job of just completely disengaging from this fight.
Yeah, really nice job from Ghost. It seems like they are willing to chase kills halfway across the map, but when it comes to, you know, making any major mistakes, that's not going to end up happening. Nice crack there, 76 from Nocturnal. So much ammo. Nocturnal is the king of the heavy ammo the last 2 games. I believe he had 200 and something for his 30-30, and the previous one 200 for your wingman. Not necessary, but I'll take it.
CLG, I want to say fresh off their team fight win up against Exit. They do have this position on the western side of Harvester here, and with the Ring 3 information. So we're really looking at, it's looking like that respawn beacon pull up maybe towards the train tracks just to the west of that as well. TDG in a passive position over here on the northern side of the zone at Landslide. They might have been trying to camp that beacon, but they got interrupted by another squad showing up a little bit late. So with that squad using that skyward dive, it looks like they will be able to ultimately get that girl. I mean, it's a Spitfire. You've got so much ammo in it. Might as well go for this.
Got a lot of ammo, but that's some precious ammo that you can't get back. So we'll see what ends up happening for TDG a little bit later on. Now, Girl's going to hold this high ground while the rest of the team goes and makes the rotations because this zone is closing in a minute. So it is nice to go and check your back, get the scan on over towards the next zone. And I think you're right, Jamerson. It's going to be that very common ending that we've seen below the train tracks, kind of by that respawn where you were previously discussing. But it was a little complicated looking at ring number 1 and ring number 2, but once you get these scans onto ring number 3, definitely starts to open up the possibilities of where you want to rotate now.
And for TDG, they picked up at least 1 kill point. I don't know if they were able to get the rest of Wingman season. It doesn't quite look like it. So if they want to, they can still hover around here. They're safe in the next zone, so they can pick up ring 4. But then that kind of leaves them with a few options for the rotate. They'll have to definitely Valkyrie rotate blind into staging, which can be incredibly difficult. But it looks like they are setting up to just take their time here, use the replicators, and then camp for that next beacon. It's Razor that was on the north side that they were able to gatekeep out throughout all of that. So Razor are going to look for a different way to go in. Other teams are still slow rotating in right now. Looks like Team Liquid are making their way into Harvester, and Cracked Bear was brought back into this game. So Ghost not able to finish the job on the squad means that team is back in full force.
And this is really fun to watch the minimap kind of play out like this, because you have right now Team Esports Arena putting themselves in between 4 teams. You can see Ghost Gaming's over there, Team Liquid's right there, CLG still posted up inside of Harvester where they previously were. And you look at that and you go, how is Team Esports Arena going to play this type of instance? Are they going to take a fight too early and get third party? To me, it seems like they just know where everyone's at, right? They're like, no, let's not take this fight. Oh, let's rotate this way and take something a little bit later. Just goes to show their experience and their knowledge that they have in these situations.
And it's going to come down to the Caustic players on all of those squads, especially when you're battling around Harvester. It's going to be super important, barrel placements, and also having that fragging power on your Caustic as the entry at that point. It's so weird now when you have the Caustic meta, how they have to be the entry for the squad. Never mind, it's Nocturnal starting things off in that fight, getting the knock onto Vatro. CLG losing out on one. There's going to be a huge domino of fights. You have to imagine that Esports Arena are going to show up for this one. Skittlecakes got connected on by that Arcstar, but he will be able to survive. Great bubble out from Duplex here, as it looks like they're looking to finish things off, pushing up the 3-team fight between CLG, Esports Arena, Team Liquid. It was Team Liquid that was the first one out. Now the reset coming out from Esports Arena as they get the res onto Duplex here, as Rakanishu has shown up as well, finishing off Mamba. So CLG will be fighting at a disadvantage after this reset.
And these are the 4 teams that we mentioned. It was Ghost Gaming, it was Team Liquid, it was CLG, and it was Esports Arena. And perfectly put, Jamerson, it comes down to the Caustics, and it was Skittlecakes with all these barrel placements and great zoning to get his team back into the game. And you think a lot of times it's the Gibby who's the most important on the team, but when you get into these Harvester situations, you can just see the value of Caustic is so darn high. They're not interested in even healing here. They're going to go and work their way around. So we were wondering, hey, how are they going to go about this situation? Noct actually finds one on the way out inside of the zone. That was the last member of CLG. As you see, also Wingman season being eliminated. So 2 teams back-to-back, 2 really solid teams are going to be sitting in that death screen. But what a job getting out of that type of situation. That was so hard to go and deal with, but somehow Esports Arena stays alive with their full team intact.
Ooh, Twisted Sin. They don't have a Gibraltar for this fight, and that leaves them at a huge disadvantage. Skittlecake's able to get him free nades, get the knock onto Lux. But they're getting slowed down now. Missile Storm is going to allow them to push up. Thermite slowing things down just a bit, but they regroup as a full. Unfortunately for Skittlecakes there, that Arcstar getting stopped by his own bubble, but it's fine. Should be able to continue to push forward. I don't know if they were able to get Lux up on the other side. They were not. And so that will be a secured kill for Esports Arena. They don't have to give away this building, so they just go ahead and reset here.
Oh my goodness, 9 batteries. That is absolutely bonkers as we take a look at what Team Nerf is doing. They desperately need these points. Keep in mind, they are fighting for that top 3 against Excedrin, trying to stamp their way into the next season of Series E. Turns, he was playing phenomenal on Horizon yesterday. He's going to be busting out the Caustic today. Unfortunately, Force is going to be down on the ground too, and I'm not quite sure where the fuse came into the thought process here. It's always a little questionable. We'll see if Splash is going to be able to take them down, but Kimchi Lee from Excedrin comes in, joins in on the fray. That's Cruisin' coming in for the cleanup. Wow, Excedrin playing spoiler there to Team Nerf.
Yeah, Excedrin basically taking a page out of the NRG playbook here for this circle, controlling this high ground, you know, coming out from Thermal Station. And so they're able to just clear out their back here. They'll have access to that, the train rails. Esports Arena, though, in a fight right now up against, looks like multiple squads in the area here, but they do end up picking up 2 at the very least. And they're going to try and prioritize on that reset with the gold bag res to get Dupe right back up. Noct is just on it. He has the angle already held down, but that Valkyrie is going to be forced down instantly. Almost got the clip. He just needs one more shot. Literally one shot, and there it is. The last 11 to go ahead and secure that kill for Esports Arena. pivoting now to another squad that is inside of this choke, currently over by Mind Pass, and Noct is doing such a great job of just controlling the map, and he'll be able to finish off Atlanta Premier.
Noct is doing whatever he wants in these instances, going for the armor swap right there. He has the car in the R301, making that car shoot like the Volt the way that he was able to do damage. It's like, man, should we create this weapon already if it's in Noct's hands? The rest of the ESA squad is taking a lot of damage, and look at this genius play from Noct, understanding the situation that he's the most healthy on his team, even though he has the best angle on the high ground, understanding that once that bubble goes down, he needs to go and make a move. That's one player going to be down. He's going to go take the enemy bubble as well. Unfortunately, this bubble is going to be going away fairly soon, and he does the same exact thing as before. He's going to go in for the body block, now holding down the angles for his team. Someone stop this man. Is that enough time with that gold bag res to go and put in the rest of the damage? He should be just barking out callouts right now that these players are so weak, and ESA should be able to clean this up.
They've got double gold bag. They just need the bubble here, and you can see the swap off there to make sure that he gets it. Never mind, it was just the one gold bag that they've just been tossing around to each other. But the quick res comes in for Noct. Definitely the MVP of these fights so far, turning things around once again onto Furia. But they need to start moving. You can see round 4 closing up, and they need to start focusing on this rotate instead. They are on the fast side of the ring, or well, the semi-fast side, so they will start hoofing it here. They've got 30 seconds, and so despite, of course, just trading away, they're not going to pick up any kills, unfortunately. But now, here they go. Skyward dive, but they have to go ahead and cancel that instantly, forcing the bubble maybe coming out. Duplex will go ahead and use that as they are now getting pressured out by the zone. They're trying to push up, but throughout all that, the staging teams are trying their best to knock them out. They're even keeping a focus on the on that northern side. It's Team Vizio that's playing gatekeeper from staging here. They're about to get the knock onto one. No, Duplex still picks that one up onto Tech.
He does, but unfortunately Duplex goes down to Scissors right here in Vizio with the major gatekeeping. Are they going to flush Duplex though? I'm not quite sure where his body is going to be. Remember, they did have gold bag that they were passing back and forth. So we'll see if Noct or Skittlecakes is going to get back in here and try to find them. I think that could have been Noct right there running away, as Jimmy gets a knock right there on a Fearing Live too. So a lot of action as this zone does start to close, but someone's going to have to stop Esports Arena. Scissors maybe getting a little bit too excited there, ends up going and getting knocked. And that was a little unfortunate situation. I mean, Scissors, I like the thought process, but is it worth it? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, they need to get him back up and somehow need to retake height there with 2 players down. Renegades, they've been playing out of this position basically since the beginning of the game. This ring pulling hard over toward that inner office. And so they can just walk this one in. They will be a little bit vulnerable to the high ground angles. We'll see if they can find a decent spot to play off. You can see the pings going down. They're going to try and play the bottom of that small elevator shaft. They have to worry about Excedrin, I believe, should be playing on the train tracks above them currently. It's probably going to be their biggest threat rotating in with this one, but they do have pings down underneath that crane. They can play off of that despite it being a little bit vulnerable to these angles for the time being.
Cedric now looking to capitalize now that Nerf has been eliminated, and they were a part of that. I like the observation that you had, Jamerson, of their approach to the circle is very reminiscent of how NRG goes about their business, always continuing to hold that high ground. Now you see Vizio getting involved over towards the side. This has definitely been their best game so far with this double rotation composition coming through. Madness is going to be able to help eliminate Gas Station Gaming for Renegades. That's looking pretty solid, as well as the phase breach on over towards the low ground. Now, a little bit risky to go on over here and force yourself into a corner, but we'll see if Renegades can fight their way out.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that they weren't able to get the timing there to take the position that Razor are in. You saw the pings coming out from Renegades earlier on to possibly try and take that spot, but this was the fail-safe for them as well. Excedrin now playing on top of the crane. Ultimate Excels coming out for Kimchi Lee. He will have it in time, especially if he has another Ultimate Excel in play. I mean, what are you, a Watson? I mean, I know we're seeing a lot of Watsons here, but having all those Ultimate Excels here, Sykes gets a knock onto Fearing Live, but the threat from Excedrin above stops the push out. Never mind, Madness living up to his name. He is in the thick of things here. He doesn't even have a phase breach. He's not on a Wraith to just be able to queue away, but Renegades ends up picking up a clean team fight against Razor there, and Excedrin are not able to capitalize or punish on that.
Definitely one of those fights that's going to help boost your confidence as a squad, as the mobile respawn beacon is going down on top of the crane, which I didn't even know was physically possible. I guess you learn something new every single day over here, but now they're seeing, all right, what just happened down there? It was absolute madness, literally. I don't see any death boxes. I just see a bunch of explosions on the ground. I love the way Madness entry frags. He comes in with absolutely no fear, landing those PK shots. One of the PK shots only hit for 8, even though it looked really, really solid too. But either way, for a new squad coming in with Sykes, you love to see that type of aggressive play from Team Renegades. But this is what it all comes down to right here. I mean, in terms of who has the positional advantage, exactly, on the high ground here isn't really going to be an ideal situation, but they're going to leave a little bit early for my taste. I mean, the zone really hasn't even started to close on them yet.
Yeah, Vizio have so much more time, like another 30 seconds left inside their office to play off of. Renegades, they should have that phase breach up very shortly here to retake height. Once this fight ends up breaking, Scissors has a Kraber in hand. He waits out for that stumble when you land, but the bubble is instantly there for Kimchi Lee, lining things up. Kimchi Lee gets out to dodge out on the timings to answer back up against Scissors. A nice Thermite is going to force them back at the very least. Now Renegades looking for their timing to try and push up. It's the final 3 teams alive here, and Vizio and Excedrin are almost on a collision course for this fight. Still, nades in the hand of Vizio. They've been able to utilize that off of the Loba. Pow holding on to that defensive bombardment. It's going to be blind for them. They don't know if the bubbles are down, but they're going to go for it and see to go ahead and use that phase breach. The kills are coming in. It's all Team Vizio, but the defensive bombardment out from Kimchi Lee is almost like a Junkrat passive, actually gets one, and now Renegades have the man advantage. They are able to take advantage of the situation, come in, clean up Vizio, and steal away the win here in game number 3.
We mentioned the new roster. It's great to see them picking up a big dub that early on. Game 3 in World's Edge. And a very nice end game too. I mean, the timing of the defensive bombardment layered on top of the other one. You wondered, is that going to work? Are they going to be using bubbles because defensive bombardments are going to be down? It ended up working in their favor because you couldn't tell which one was which. So while you're standing there thinking that you're in friendly fire, you're just getting bounced around like a ping pong ball, and that's Renegades picking up their first dub in Series Z as a new squad.
Yeah, big win for Renegades there. We saw them getting some early frags as well, so it's going to be a well-scored game at the very least. That does mean, though, that 3 games gone, we're going to go ahead and swap on over to Storm Point. We have hit our halfway mark. We're going to take our break. When we get back, we'll have 3 more games on Storm Point. You're not going to want to miss that, so don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back right after this.
Versus coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. The memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Get the balls in the breaks. I'm talking one chance that was so good for the goal. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Excedrin.
I'm fading!
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast.
Excedrin, game over for headaches.
Some noise. sugar, 0 calorie treat. Now all our top fresh flavored splash.
It's fruit freshin'.
The first half in the books, all done with World's Edge for tonight. We will have Storm Point coming up next, but Renegades wrapping up the first half with a nice win there. You heard T-Squared and Jamerson talking about, of course, this is, the new roster. They're making some changes. Saucer being let go, looking for new opportunities there. Madness now on the team, and they're looking to, have some growth, make some changes, look to improve for the coming championships and more in the future. And Renegades with a win here, going to feel nice here after these recent roster changes. Let's check out player of the game here for game number 3 as we pull this up, and it is going to go to Madness this time around. 6 kills and 6 assists and 1,900 damage, right on the nose. Very well done there for Madness, and Renegades with a nice win. And they are honestly a squad that's been looking pretty good over the last month or so in Pro Nights. They consistently come out and get victories. Multiple times they've kind of been threats for the top of the table, so not entirely surprised here that Renegades are getting in the mix here in the first half. So well played from them. Still some work to do, I'd imagine, to try and chase down Team Esports Arena, courtesy of that huge Game 2 victory, but at the very least, Renegades putting themselves firmly in that conversation here, and now they'll have to try and translate that onto Storm Point with 3 games remaining tonight. Now, before we get back into the action here for tonight's event, I do want to talk about a little something new we are doing at Esports Arena locations all across the country, and it's called PvE. You can go into your local Esports Arena inside a Walmart store near you and compete in our new event. No longer do you always have to commit to 3 or 4 hours for an entire tournament. Maybe you want to compete in more bite-sized pieces. Well, PvE offers that opportunity. We run 4 different leaderboards across different titles every single week from Wednesday to Sunday. Each leaderboard has its own $500 prize pot. All you have to do is come in, purchase some tokens, use the tokens to enter in the different leaderboards and put up your best scores. This week we will have Mario Kart going, Smash Ultimate Home Run Derby, Apex Legends Control, and the Halo Infinite training mode, so you can go and compete in all of those this weekend. Use exclamation point locations in Twitch chat right now to find an Esports Arena near you. Now, one of my friends here in the studio testing out some Control today. We got the man himself, Alpha, in Studio White right now, playing a little bit of Control. I know a lot of Apex fans happy to see the mode returning. A lot of big fans of Control when it was released at the start of this season, and it has made a return. And now you can compete in it at an Esports Arena location near you all this week starting today. So you can go out, put up your best score, your highest kill number in a single game of Control, and that will be your score. And the nice thing is you can keep track of those leaderboards all throughout the week. We have a 24/7 stream running on our YouTube channel where you can see all of the top scores from all across the country. So if you go in on a Wednesday or a Thursday, put up a top placing score, maybe you check that stream Friday or Saturday night, see that you've fallen down the leaderboard, you can go right back in to your local Esports Arena and compete even more. So make sure, again, exclamation point locations in Twitch chat, hit that link, you can find an Esports Arena near you, you'll see address, hours, and everything that you need to know over there. So make sure to go and check that out and come and compete in PvE today. We would love to see you at a local Esports Arena this week. Alpha out here just trying to hunt for some players here, looking to get onto the B site. running the Rampage and the Alternator here, going for the peak. And then Alpha's pretty cracked. I don't know how he's feeling without a warm-up here, just going in pretty raw, but he's going to get another kill there, looking for a third. He's going to fall, though. Alpha is definitely good when Aim Labs gets into the rotation. Alpha is at his best. He's got pretty sick aim. Very talented shooter player. Really, you put any game in this man's hands and he's going to compete. But if you feel the same about your skills, you can come out and compete in PvE today. So again, find your local esports arena. Come out and play in PvE this week. Now he's running the car PK. I'm such a huge fan of the car, especially when you can get a purple barrel on it. It just absolutely melts fools, has such little recoil, and the ability to just use 2 different ammo types means that you're really never running out of ammo here. Looking for the push on the bubble. Got to get those kills, Alpha. You got to put up that top score. Come back here into the studio. I will remind you guys one more time, exclamation point locations is all that you need. Right in Twitch chat, that'll give you the link that you need. You can go to one of these esports arena locations inside a Walmart store all across the US. So make sure to go and check that out. Come and compete in PvE. Remember, $500 prize pools for each different leaderboard every single week. Now, we're getting ready for the second half. We're headed to Storm Point, so we're going to go to a break right now. When we come back, Jamerson and T-Squared will take another look at that Mobile One leaderboard, see where we stand, and we'll get ready for some fun. We'll be right back.
Versus coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true trademark is at the edge of your dreams. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. With the bars and the breaks, I'm talking one chance that was so good for the go. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go.
Etc.
I'm fading.
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast. Excedrin, game over for headaches.
Refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0 calorie treat. They're all our top fresh flavored splash.
It's fruit freshin'.
Welcome back, guys, to Series E. We're about to head into the second half of play for the day. That means we're moving on to Storm Point. But before we do that, we got to check in with the Mobile One leaderboard. We've had 3 separate winners so far. That last game, in game number 3, it was Renegades taking a big win. But Esports Arena still find themselves in first place throughout all of that. So 52 points now for them. Renegades at 28. Elevate at 27 and Atlanta Premier at 26. So the middle of the pack, it looks like pretty close, but the Esports Arena is starting to break away from things. Let's check in with the Mobile One high performance moment as well from game number 3. We had plenty. There was so much team fighting going on. I mean, I'm kind of liking the pace of the game so far, but this was that final push. Vizio was forced into a fight with Excedrin and Renegades with a great timing on that defensive bombardment, along with that farewell defensive bombardment from Kimchi Lee allowed Renegades to come in for a beautiful 3v2 finish. But Renegades just did a great job of timings on this one. I mean, this is a squad, and we know when it comes down to Madness, he has a wealth of experience when it comes to that IGL role, making a call like this, being able to use that phase breach to get all of his squad mates up and ready for this fight. It was just a beautiful turn of events for them. Vizio having no opportunity whatsoever for the turnaround here. And so now we're getting game number 4 set up, and this is where the big question is. I mean, we're playing 3 maps, of course, on Storm Point, but we started off 3 games on World's Edge. So, you know, teams like have to be able to adjust really quickly on the fly.
Yeah, they do. And I love the way that Madness took the fight down below in the corner to begin with for them to even get to that point. I believe it was Team Razor that was all trapped in the area below where this circle was ending. And there was a lot of different layers to this point, because you would think the team that has the high ground a majority of the time is going to be in a great position. But keep in mind the power of Ashe and how instant you can get that phase breach into a really powerful position. And that's exactly what they did. And without that type of composition, say that he was playing Wraith, they would have died to the zone right here. There would have been no chance that they would have been able to get on up over towards the top. So there's so many different things that come into play here besides the actual plays that they make in terms of what legends they were selecting and how they wanted to even get to that point.
Yeah, so great plays coming out from them. Also just great, you know, mid-game navigation coming out from the Renegades there. We saw them take the early position and staging after winning out in a team fight, and then kind of staying there for a while. So they were very opportunistic in the fights that they were able to take and really did capitalize on it. But here we go. Heading into game number 4, we have to keep an eye on that map to see how many 50-50s are going to be taking place here. We're joining on board with Renegades, our winners from game number 3. They do have a team going towards wall side, but they're going further up north than that. So they will be avoiding a direct 50-50, keeping an eye on their surroundings as well. Looks like they're a little bit short here, so they'll just go ahead and take this looting path, take all the loot on the eastern side of wall, and then move up.
I'm still trying to get my finger on Storm Point, you know, personally for when I'm playing. Like, what's my favorite POI? Where's all the good loot going to be? Etc., etc. To watch these players pick up Storm Point so fast and dominate so well. Look at Renegades. The rich get richer. They're going to be possibly having a back-to-back game over here. Nerf's also dealing with a 50-50, so if we have an opportunity to see what they're up to, I'd like to see if they're picking up some early KP, because sure, it started with that first initial map.
Yeah, and there's one more 50-50 up northeast as well. It looks like Esports Arena only have someone over here at Mills with the way that Duplex is playing. And of course, that he also has the heal. So right now, it looks like they might have the positional advantage fighting top down. Arcstar in. Oh boy. Skittle Cakes. It doesn't matter that he was caught just changing weapons, changing out from the nades. He still dishes out so much damage. And TDG got absolutely rocked.
They have to know who's landing over here, and the Esports Arena is letting them know. That is for sure. But while that happened, another 50-50 went into the favor of Team Nerf. And look at Turns, he's back on the horizon. I feel like he was so comfortable on that yesterday, and also was so darn good at Storm Point. It was really impressive to go and see. But another 50-50 taking place. This is going to be Furia finding themselves in a fight. The Alternator, the 30-30 from Tech. This is a little bit of a different composition that they were playing in the ALGS. I believe they were running a Gibbulous composition when it came to Storm Point, but it's still nice to go and see again someone playing something different over here, and it's going to be the Bangalore from Panders.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that Twisted Sin ended up losing out on their third, who fell off map. They had to plug him in. Now I'm wondering where the third is running around. I'm really confused as to what happened here on the northeast side of the map. But Fury are happy to pick up at least the 2 kills there. I'll be able to get additional loot. They got blues at least across 3 members, so that's very nice for them. We'll see if they can get an upgrade later on. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map now. That some time has passed. We're down to about 50 seconds before the zone starts closing up, and so teams are going to start making their move to basically get into the center of the zone.
Yeah, exactly. I believe that is Cracked Bear is the last player alive over here, and he is literally running for his life on this Gibby. And I like that he's a Cracked Bear on a bear. That's pretty. That's kind of cool.
Living up to his name, and this is going to be a north wall pull. You can see a team is already set up inside where this ring should be pulling, all the way up to that valley on the northern side. Another team is starting to show up. That was Renegades, I believe, that took that drop just to the northeast as well. So coming from not exactly high point, but outside the outskirts of the wall. Now they're moving in. Yeah, Team Liquid's there. Renegades are there. Even Vizio are starting to show up. There might be a chance that we get an early fight here, especially with another team showing up. There's a 4th team already in the area.
Yep, and then the 5th team's flying on over towards the west side. Cracked Bear is actually in a good position to rat everything out too, as you see Excedrin putting pings down on over towards the rock area over towards the side. But this is going to be an interesting zone to go and watch how these teams navigate, because so many teams have already made their way in. There's not going to be much real estate, so we may see some crazy Valkyrie skyward dives into some unsuspected players, and that could create a lot of commotion over towards the wall area.
Yeah, this is definitely looking like a game where we're going to have round 4 chaos of just skyward dives after skyward dives, and it's going to be a big pileup of teams trying to get into position for Excedrin. They're unfortunately going to be gate-kept by 2 squads holding the shuttles right now, so they can play off the southern side. They just always have to be careful of maybe that the teams from the northern northeast side peeking out and punishing them from behind, so they can't tunnel focus too hard onto one edge. Here's Team Liquid. They were the first team set up, and you know what? They've got the composition to do it. They've got Gildersons on that Loba. Not going to get the biggest of value off this Black Market Boutique, but once it comes to ring number 4, ring number 5, where every team is basically in the area, that Black Market Boutique is going to top them all off for this. We do have a skyward dive, though, coming up from Vizio, challenging this squad inside of the shuttle.
That's a really nice defensive bombardment. I am shocked that they are not rocking a Gibby throughout all of this too. Makes things so difficult. They're not able to bubble entry frag inside the door. They're not able to avoid any of these utility that's flying on over towards them. The best case scenario is what Jimmy's doing, getting out of dodge with that phase breach, but they've lost out on so many players. Speaking of losing out on players, Esports Arena also down 2 is knocked, needs to be recovered. Duplex already down. Black Hole coming in from Skill Cakes. Is he going to try to his way out of here? Who's got the keys to the Jeep room? Skittle Cakes does. He's out of there.
Yeah, they ended up losing out on this fight up against Team Oxygen. No one going down for Team Oxygen throughout all of that. Hey, we were talking about Legend Diversity. We got the Rampart coming in. And so now we just, at this point, we only need to see Mad Maggie, Mirage, and is that it? And Pathfinder.
Tell me you don't know what your legend does without telling me you don't know what your legend does. Will he be able to put these down? No one will ever know. There it is, the first wall coming in for Aiden. And Rampart looking about as useless as, I don't know. I don't know what's as useless as a Rampart that can't put down walls. It could be the most useless thing ever.
Yeah, Aiden got tired of no build battles in Fortnite. Now he's like, okay, I'm bringing builds into Apex Legends here. He spotted out the duplex on the ground there, and we'll be able to finish him off. So unfortunately, Skittle Cakes will have to come back and try and pick up that banner. Razor, though, in a full 3v3 fight. They do have the rooftop controlled currently. Nice damage out on the right side, but 2 people coming in from the left, and Bursty does have that angle set down. They get the first knock on to Panders, and now they push up to take out this Gibraltar. Great isolation out from Razor, knowing that they have the Valkyrie on the right-hand side, so they can just go ahead and full swing on that. So Furia go down without a fight. Another team showing up here as a defensive bombardment connects, and now Drez is going to be forced down onto the low, but they'll be able to go ahead and, you know, get the armor swaps real quickly. Ghosts find themselves in a fight as well. Now pushing up, Thermite connect. Rakanishu is going to be the first one to make contact here for this fight.
Even though that Thermite connects, you can't just like full send and be like, yeah, I got him, 8 damage, go. Like, they're all still extremely healthy throughout all this. The resets have already came through, and they have the high ground on you, so right now it's difficult for Ghost Gaming to figure out how they want to go about this situation. The zone is going to close, it is just round number 1, so it's not going to do much damage, but they're not in a good spot, and I like this idea. I would get out of here too. You understand the situation. This team is completely on fire. Look at the shots coming in for Team Razor, but when you're talking about fighting from low ground to high ground right there, that's just not going to be a vibe. You know that they have better armors than you. You know that they're rocking some pretty solid weapon combos too, so better be safe than sorry for Ghost Gaming as they're going to continue to try to learn more on Stormpoint here. Oxygen Gaming, that's going to be Tugsy going on to Skittlecakes. I believe they were able to get knocked back up because if Skittlecakes was eliminated, that means that all of ESA would have been gone, so we'll see exactly who's going to be ratting it out for that squad a little bit later. But Nerf's now starting to pick things up a little bit. I'm not quite sure, after 3 games, Jamerson, where do Excedrin and Nerf stand right now?
I mean, Excedrin just did get, what, a third place finish with a few kills as well. I don't know if Nerf were able to match that. So I think Excedrin are slightly in the lead. We'll check in with the Mobile One leaderboard after game number 4, because, yeah, that is a very important point we need to note. Remember, after tonight, there's only 2 nights of regulation play left. Both of those squads on the bubble, it was Excedrin leading by about 36 points. So really nothing. The lead is basically nothing at this point. So it's extremely close between those 2 teams. And what's on the line? Well, you're securing a spot into Series E, not being able to avoid the qualification matches again later on when Season 5 starts up.
Yeah, and the practice that you get here is just extremely valuable. It's no coincidence that Team Esports Arena, a team that was relatively unknown after being able to, you know, be provided this type of platform. The thing is, you know, I understand that scrims are going on and there's a handful of different lobbies in North America, but scrims will not do it justice. You're not going to be able to learn as much as when money's on the actual line. So it's one of the best, if not best, platform for you to make improvements for your team and find out exactly where you stand. And not only did Skittlecakes get one teammate up, he got both of them up. So it's a little unfortunate because I believe that he was the only person alive throughout all of that, and now he's the one with his respawn time now. It's like my ranking.
Yeah. Saving Private Ryan, basically. Ultimately here, Xset finding themselves in a fight here. Just on the edge of the zone. Defensive bombardment, they're just going to go ahead and completely disengage from this fight. It was Atlanta Premier on the other side of this one, giving them some trouble. And they don't want to deal with that, so they just back away. I think that's a good call here. Problem in the hands of Kenny could be deadly. We'll see. Double SMGs for them. Well, one is a burst, of course, but for now, they should have a relatively isolated fight. A lot of teams have already gone down. We're down to 14 squads, and can't imagine there are too many teams riding the edge here on the northeast side, but I'm going to go ahead and try and make their way on up. Phase breach used, and just before they did, Klein got chunked. So really good timing there to get inside of a building.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They had this planned out. They noticed that this was a vacant spot as well. And now, unless another team decides that they want to phase breach in here, they should be A-okay to be setting up and checking out all the different options for where they're going to go and rotate next. But this is going to be closing in about 50 seconds. When that happens, we're going to scan on to zone number 3-2, which is going to be really valuable. Keep in mind, a lot of teams have set up and are slow playing this. This is one of the squads that was there extremely early, our winners from the previous game. Also, another winner from game number 1, this is Atlanta Premier, haven't been able to pop off like they were on World's Edge quite yet. So we'll see what they have in store for us. They really, really showcased what they were about in that final circle over towards the dome side.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of just gatekeeping the teams now, looking to come in from that northeast side that we saw earlier on. They forced that skyward dive to instantly turn back around. So going to try and gatekeep. They're going to allow the zone to start pressuring them. Nice missile storm getting connects onto, it looks like, all 3 members there. They're going to be slowly taking ring damage, and Ronnie actually looks away about the wrong time there. Still, though, looks back just in time to get a decent shot off with that wingman. Now they're going to go ahead and turn their focus back to the other side as the team has shown up. There's a Valkyrie up there. Got to be careful. The nade forcing Ronnie out of that height, but if he wants to, he'll be able to retake that now. It's just unfortunately losing out on a little bit of priority there.
It's unfortunate that the wingman shot's going to do 41 instead of 43 if he's going to connect it, unless he's able to do a headshot. So he needs to hit 2 wingers to be able to get that charged up on over towards the purple. But like you said, he's on Valkyrie. He's going to be okay. He's trapped in between 2 Valkyries, and eventually they're going to have to go and make a move. It looks like they're going to go on towards the closer type of fight as Asur is going to be taking a lot of damage. Urban needs to get in there with the bubble. I'm not quite sure why they're just leaving Asur to get fried. That bubble is way too late. Now the enemy team should be sending. They're not even going for the res here, so a little bit delayed in terms of the thought process. And now the bait coming through. Ghost Gaming should have this one under control, and they do. Asur just gets a little bit too aggressive right there, but also the rest of the team wasn't there, so just kind of botched miscommunication from the AP squad.
Now Xset holding their building down. They only lose out on Hakulo, but they'll be able to get him right back up. Nerf are taken out relatively easily there, and so they'll have the armor swaps. Here's Razor, though, on a fight on the south side now. They've got that black hole down and force them behind. Defensive bombardment is going down as well as Bursty drops down to try and focus them down. Despite having that visual clutter, he gets some decent damage off, but Stunny ends up picking that kill and that thirst with Noko's defensive bombardment. They answer back, bringing this down to a 2v2. They're relatively healthy, needs backup inside of the bubble right now, though. They're trying to take out this Valkyrie, but she is giving them the shmoom, and Zednim shows up with that Prowler and will finish them off. Wingman season knockout Team Razor.
What a great portal there from Zednim to go and avoid the fight, get the heal, come back on over. Noko with a smart defensive bombardment too. Some pretty solid bubble play. Wingman season executing that team fight on a very, very high level against one of our talented teams here.
Now they do have to get moving. The zone is starting to close up. Oxygen on the southwest side of the zone, as it's unfortunate. They've got a disconnect here. Kubsky needs to get back in, and he needs to get back in now. They're trying to delay for as long as possible. CLG are here as well. They don't know that there's a disconnect on the Oxygen side, but it's doing enough to at least delay CLG at this point. But it looks like both teams just might get grief there. Sheila with the double kill. Or, well, Aiden with the triple kill, I guess. I mean, that's the nice thing about Rampart with the LMGs. There's so much work. Floop just on the edge. It looks like he will be riding that. No time for him to heal, unfortunately. Esports Arena, though, are in the middle of the zone. It looks like they tried to go and take a spot away from Renegades, but the Renegades will have that team fight win with 3v2.
Talk about an unlucky time to lag out. Poor Kubsky doesn't even get to see the triple kill that his teammate goes and puts in. Now I'm wondering after that triple kill if Aiden's going to continue to play on that Rampart. And oh my goodness, what a push there from Hakulo. Xset coming through with the cleanup. Wingman season going down. That was, if I'm not mistaken, a 20 HP fight against 200 HP fight that Hakulo just won.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. Couldn't get closer than that, honestly. Xset, though, holding on to this position. They'll be safe here. And now they need to start working their way on in. We know that there is a team pushing up north, or holding that gateway, basically, to get inside of that valley. The teams that are already set up there, we've got Team Liquid along... Renegades that are inside both of those shuttles. Don't know the status of Excedrin, but they should also be safe in their small little valley into that open clearing. So we'll see if Xset have a clear path to get in. There should be someone here, and it is Ghost Gaming looking to try and gatekeep them there. They're not too far off from the zone. They have multiple teams to contend with. Defensive bombardment down as that bubble falls as well. 2 teams. Ghost is looking to just try and gatekeep here. There's 6 potential kills for them to pick up.
Impulse taking a kind of a weird angle right there. I thought that he was going to go and just continue to lay down the shots, but that's what he was looking for. He's going to go over towards the low ground, get a more favorable angle, and unfortunately not able to hit the shots. However, that PK for 7 damage is literally all he needed. Just needed to sneeze on that player, and that's all it took. I've been so impressed with Impulse and his shots, but we'll see if they're going to be able to stop Xset, who's been looking really strong today.
Yeah, not enough pressure applied onto Xset from this side, and so Xset were able to just walk up onto Ghost for free. They get the first knock onto Rakanishu, and now they do trade back. Wave picking one up himself, but Xset will be able to clean this one and have all the loot as well. So this is going to be perfect for them. Red armor swaps on red armor swaps, and they'll be just on the edge of the zone.
Holy Klein, are you kidding me? The massive shots from Klein were absolutely disgusting. The bubble fighting confidence from Xset. They started the day off extremely confident. I mean, their first 2 fights against CLG, they were able to take the 50-50. They lost out on the third one, but you can see once they get going, they are definitely a force to be reckoned with. Renegades looking for back-to-back games. They landed over here towards this spot and they locked it down for quite some time. Pao adding some aggression down over towards the bottom side. As you see, the rest of the players are going to be taking some off angles over here, but you want to make sure that you don't get a little too overzealous right now if you're Madness. You're in such a great position over towards this next zone too, and we've seen this from the Renegade squad fairly early in Stormpoint when we were going through Season 4 of Series E and we made the switch. Renegades has been putting themselves in very powerful positions where they seem to show a lot of zone knowledge, and maybe they're going to be able to execute on this one. As you see, Mercy only from the Elevate squad getting a knock right there onto Fluke with the Thermite, but this position, Jamerson, is so godlike for Renegades.
Oxygen knocked out though. Mercy only picking up the 2 kills there. Yeah, they are direct center of the zone. Excedrin have to move up and they have to deal with Team Liquid that are playing out of the shuttle just to their right. So they've got to be careful. You can see now the first advance coming out from Team Liquid to try and find an opening here as Xset find another knock. That's Elevate losing out on Golden. Team Liquid need to deal with Excedrin if they want a shot at this late game. They're going to go ahead and start pushing up. Early bubble out, and they do have one player isolated, not able to take advantage of it. Kimchi Lee tossing down a bubble of his own. It was just a 2-man push out. Gilderson's anchoring from the backside from that high ground here. So fortunate that Liquid weren't able to get anything off of it, but they will have another chance. They've got another 10 seconds or so before the bubble comes back up. And so they're going to go ahead and try for it now as Fun will go for that peak. Hits for the 55, 33, gets the knock onto Cruisin'. And this is a massive play for Team Liquid. This is the only team standing in their way of victory right now. And Nocturnal is going to take that height here, make sure they cannot get the res. But as he goes for that peak up, they might have actually been able to get that res backing away. They're going to go for a second try. There they go. The bubble is down, and they never got that res up. They do answer back, though. Fun going down. The instant pickup coming out to get that res. Kimchi Lee gets thirsted off. They're going to go ahead and pop that res once more. Team Liquid with the perfect timing on this engagement. Now they'll be able to push up and basically have a free corner to play off of.
Yeah, timing is everything, Jamerson, because they needed to take that right when the zone was closing. So the fact that the bubble was coming up at the right time, Fun tosses that one perfectly, and actually could have been Nocturnal too to come through as he gets that thirst on the enemy. But the way that Nocturnal was taking the high ground, just making sure that he is putting himself in a really great position, but also the baiting and switching of watching where the enemies could come from, where the thirst could come from, is really key, because at this point of the game, you can't afford for any of your players to get thirsted, as the rest of Elevate is going to be ending up going down here very shortly. Finally going to take over that kill lead. Great job from Liquid. It doesn't really get much better than that in terms of how you want to go in and take an engagement. Yeah, you did lose out on a player and he went down on the ground, but still, that was not an easy fight to go take, and they had to take it at that exact time.
Yeah, and here, Team Liquid, you know, it was a relatively slow game for them. They started off early on, getting that shuttle in round number 1 before they even started closing up. But now they have at least 6 kills. Gilderson's picking up 2. Gas Station Gaming knocked out. 4 teams remaining. So we've got a 3v3v3v2 for this final fight. Team Liquid, basically in one of the best spots right now. They're going to be one of the later teams that have to poke out from their position. You can see that ring pulling direct center, essentially, and every other team is stacked on top. So it's all about patience here for Team Liquid, biding out the time, waiting for that shuttle to get forced out of zone for all 3 teams to poke out against each other.
And the key is again, Fun, right? So if he stays within bubble throwing distance of his teammates, then they can continue to advance forward, just like Nocturnal and Gilderson are doing. And those are the 2 legends that have some sort of escape. So if they need to bracelet back on over towards Fun, That's going to be the key. The last thing that you want to do is have some sort of miscommunication, like, hey, I'm going to come up over towards you guys. Great use of the offensive bombardment there. That's going to end up costing Renegades probably some sort of resources up on over towards the roof, possibly a bubble. They don't use the bubble. There it is. They put the bubble on the ground instead, knowing that they need to get a little bit more advance as the zone closes in. Liquid has this game in the bag if they can stay patient.
Nocturnal picks up a kill onto Mercy only. Sykes will go ahead and finish that one off for him. Renegades helping out Team Liquid just a bit, but they have so much more to deal with. Still teams inside of the shuttle. Missile Storm connecting across all three members. Here's the push out from Xset now as they're trying to turn on to Team Liquid. Team Liquid back away to give up some space at the very least. And now it's coming down to the last three teams. Xset versus Renegades, and it's coming down to just Team Liquid here for the cleanup. Aculo has gone down. It's going to be all Team Liquid with the cleanup here. Pow in the 1v3 doesn't stand much of a chance. Team Liquid will take game number 4.
So many great things from Team Liquid right there, and you could see why they were the team that won the last day of the ALGS and were able to stamp their way on over towards Stockholm. I mean, the fight that they took around the corner, the way that they were able to play patient and keep all the action in front of them, the positioning from all of the legends that they have and what they had at their disposal, and then like you said, Jamerson, backing off from that final fight so they could have a dog-eat-dog situation is exactly how you want to go and approach that one. Team Liquid textbooked again. I mean, we're seeing so many great plays from all these top squads, right? We've seen Esports Arena put on a clinic over towards World's Edge, and now we're watching Team Liquid do it on Stormpoint.
And we also get to see right there, like, the strength of playing center zone. When you're that team that ends up getting the God spot early on, or one of the best spots early on, you're not going to find a lot of the kills, you know, in the first 3-4 rounds. But once it comes to round number 4, 5, and 6, that's where they absolutely popped off. So they might have had maybe one kill, but they almost picked up every last kill in the end there. So that's going to be a massive game for Team Liquid. Now, that does mean we are going to take a short break. When we get back, we'll have game number 5. We'll check in with the Mobile One leaderboard. You're not going to want to miss that, so don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back after this break.
We're going to do it in 3, 2, 1.
Team Liquid there with a big win, taking out Xset and a couple other squads there at the end, and a nice finish to kick off the second half here on Stormpoint. And I always find it really interesting. I feel like we're kind of, it's becoming maybe a little bit more common that we seem to get these circles, these end circles that center around the gravity cannons, and they just get really weird because as small of a kind of a structure that it is, the kind of cover that they provide in these late circles for like 3 or 4 teams and the ability to play around them is really weird, and it provides, you know, a lot more cover than you would assume for such a small structure, and I always just find it very interesting when we finish on these gravity cannons and things get really fun in that final circle. But well played there from Liquid. They're able to buy time, wait until the kind of the chaos ensues between those last few squads, come in for the cleanup, take care of business, and take the win here to kick off the second half. So well played from Liquid. 2 games left, of course, tonight, and they'll have to compete with the likes of Team Esports Arena, Renegades, and others to try and get things rolling with just 2 games remaining. Not a ton of time to make a huge dent in those teams at the top of the table, but that win is certainly going to help Liquid out, so well played from them there. Do want to remind you folks, of course, I know we do a ton of online tournaments and events, but you can also come and play at an esports arena near you. If you use exclamation point locations in Twitch chat right now, you can find an esports arena near you. You can come out, play PvE, compete in some of our tournaments. You can come out and just play hourly if you want. Maybe you don't have a PC at home and you're looking for someone to game and meet some new people. Esports Arena is perfect for you. So use exclamation point locations in Twitch chat. You can find an esports arena near you and come out and game with us today. We'd love to see you at an esports arena very, very soon. Now we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we've got game 5 on deck. Jamerson and T Squared will bring you all the action when we return.
All right, welcome back, guys, to Series E. Team Liquid started off the day on a rough start. They did get like 4th place in game number 1, but it took another 3 games before they found victory there in game number 4. And it was a big one. They had a lot of kill points at the end there, Tom, and it was just excellent control of that late game. You could really see the kind of experience that comes out with that squad in game number 4. So let's check in with the Mobile One leaderboard to see what that means. That means they are now within 3 points of Team Esports Arena.
It's wild to look at this leaderboard too, because you look at CLG all the way down to 19th place, and yes, they've been losing out on the 50-50s, which is a majority of the reason why they're down there. But keep in mind, this is a team that got top 10 in the ALGS. This is a team that's going over to Stockholm, Sweden. So you wonder, what type of adjustments need to be made? What are they doing wrong on Stormpoint here, especially? Because that's not the performance that you're looking for. That's not to take anything away from teams like ESA, Liquid, Renegades, who are having themselves a great day. Also, silently having a pretty solid day has been Elevate, who's been putting up a handful of different points on the board too. So if you looked at this, when we were talking about how could you predict how this would go, yeah, you would say ESA and Liquid would possibly be up over towards the top, but the rest is kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, so let's check in with the Mobile One high performance moment of game number 4. And it looks like it is going to be just this immaculate finish coming out from Liquid. Great turnaround flick to take out that last player. Renegades trying their best, but again, this was just great pressure forcing this fight between Xset and Renegades. Team Liquid just give them enough space to deal with their issues, and then they come in for the cleanup.
It was great performance from Liquid in terms of the patience that they had throughout all of this, and you could even see Xset understands, like, man, Liquid's got this in the bag. We're basically fighting for these kill points and fighting for second place, trying to secure as much as possible, and they weren't able to do that. I think Renegades ended up taking second place from that one when it was all said and done. So that's the sign, again, of a really great end game, is when all 3 players are alive, All three players are coming in full shields. There's no doubt about it. Those are the type of wins that you want to have as a squad. Yeah, it's great to see those 1v1 clutch ups or maybe some sort of rat win, but when you talk about playing it methodically as a team, when you talk about playing perfect end games and the way that Liquid was able to, again, back off and not make any major mistakes, because you brought this up with ESA when they won. If one person overextends, like I forgot who it was Asura, I believe, who overextended a little bit earlier for Atlanta Premier. One overextension like that and your game is absolutely done. So especially in an end zone like this with so many people, 4 teams over towards the last circle, one overstep, one overextension, and you're done for. Liquid was able to own a lot of real estate, force all of those teams directly on top of each other, and then execute in the end, which is not as easy as they made it look.
And every game that we've had so far, all 4 games, the late game, has been a display by all of our teams involved in those fights of knowing basically the fundamentals of how it plays out. Remember when we had that one tree ending, when we had the 4-team ending, Team Esports Arena, understood. We're in a 4-team ending, that means that's 2 team fights that are going to be taking place. So we can take this one comfortably. We're going to allow Team Liquid, along with Wingman Season, fight things out, and then we're going to instantly turn around. So it's been just a beautiful display coming out from our competitors here in the end game. The mid game and the early game can be a little bit wonky, though. We're getting a lot of 50-50s. We'll see if that persists here in game number 5, but we're joining on board with Team Liquid, our winners of game number 4, currently in 2nd place, down by 3 points up against Esports Arena. Furia, though, once again up on the northeast side of the map, taking this 50-50 up against Twisted Sin. Last time around, they let Cracked Bear get away. They won't let him do it this time, and it looks like it will be the full team wipe for Team Furia.
The Wingman is just so OP early game, and just kind of in general, but especially if you had to pick one of the best weapons to go and skirmish with in that type of scenario. Tech put it in that thing to use. So we're like, yeah, we're going to jump on Liquid. Well, we can't, Jamerson. We have like 3 50-50s that are taking place in the very beginning of this game. Surprised that ESA is not continuing their fight as well. I think we had a 50-50 that happened with Nerf previously in game number 4 too. Right now it seems like everyone's kind of taking their spot now and backing off overall. Throughout all this, Command Center is untouched, which is kind of wild. You have Thunderwatch, which is untouched as well. That means that Team Furia, unless they decide that they want a Skyward Dive over here, is going to get a lot of loot coming outside of Lightning Rod and going forward.
It looks like TDG are on the hunt to try and finish off Icy River and Gas Station Gaming. There might be an opportunity for Team Liquid to show up for the third party here on board with TDG. And they've chased so hard that they're in a pretty vulnerable spot. Yeah, Jet gets a knock onto Durango. Diff Q, though, does come in. Go ahead and take him out, answer back, going for that instant thirst. They need the armor swap here because, again, they don't have the additional heals. So for now, Diff Q is just going to hold, and looks like Girl's going to push up. They do need to get the res onto Durango eventually instead of getting hungry for these kills, and looks like they will finally give up the chase to get the res onto Durango. So, yeah, after that tough loss over at Mills up against Esports Arena, TDG have changed up their drop spot, challenging Gas Station Gaming now here in the center of the map.
That's smart. You might as well go up against one of the newer teams inside of the lobby as they're now trying to finish off the rest of this, but Diff taking a handful of damage, ends up electing to possibly go for the battery. 2-on-1 for Icy. Now a potential 3-on-1. Is he able to heal throughout all of this? Durango, I'm not quite sure if he has any additional cells besides what he landed with. He doesn't, so this is going to be advantage on over towards Icy. We have not seen a 3v1 in quite some time, and this is possibly a big moment. Unless Durango can end this one. This is huge.
Yeah, he's got that Mozam. He's going to go ahead and push up. The HPs are fairly similar here. Big connects out from Icy River, leaving him 1 shot. And he does it. It's the 1v3 with the Mozam. That, all respect to TDG, but damn.
Oh, he didn't get the banner. The shooting of the bodies, Icy, was it really worth it? Was it necessary? We'll say it was. TDG, that has to burn. Gas Station Gaming. That could be the Mobile 1 high performance moment already. All right. The extra 2 shots with the Massive. I'll appreciate it. It was worth it. The 3v1, immaculate. It would have been better if he grabbed the last banner, but holy cow, Icy with ice in his veins.
Oh man, TDG you can't even go back on the tape and be like, what went wrong there, you know? It's just, at some point you just stop overextending. Now, we do have Splash in a fight. They've already gotten the first knock onto Mercy, only being thrown for a loop here by that Valkyrie movement. And it looks like they got a little bit lost in the sauce. We'll see, though. In Sepultus, he does get the knock onto Golden, and it finishes off Elevate here. So Splash up at North Pad, winning out on their 50-50. Didn't even get a chance to take a look at the ring. I believe it was a fairly central one, right? Going down to about a command center?
More northern.
If I remember correctly.
It was like a northern, little central. Yeah, that's definitely spot on. Over towards command center, 1,000%. So Furia is most likely going to be the first team to go and rotate in there if they want to go and take that one. But going back to that 3v1, Jamerson, you're right. It's the overextension that originally started with whoever is on Ashe. So, you know, going through and thinking, okay, I'm going to take this 1v1, and if not, my other two teammates go and do that. Got to play it by the book right there, and that is definitely going to sting. So if you looked at it, like you said, it's just staggering. You cannot continue to stagger. Everybody has to go in all at once, and we just saw way too much damage being taken for absolutely no reason there. And Icy is someone that has been the kill leader a couple of times today. So he's absolutely no joke, even though this is a new team and a new squad that we're not used to seeing here in Series E. That moment right there, definitely putting him on the map.
Now we have all the squads starting to rotate in. Team Liquid already in the middle of the map, or middle of the next zone. Renegade showing up to Vizio's spot on the northern side, so we might have a collapse and a fight over there shortly. 3-team affair for Xset Atlanta Premier, along with Wingman Season on the eastern side of the zone. So we might have a lot of early game action. Here's Oxygen moving their way through Jurassic Park now. Doesn't seem like they're going to be meeting much resistance, but eventually, depending on the pathing they take, it could run into a lot of fights. We'll see exactly where they go. They could also just hold this position and farm up for a while, try and get themselves some purples. Aiden the Destroyer sticking on that rampart. We love to see it.
And you had a feeling as soon as you got that triple kill, that is exactly what was going to be going down in the next game. And all the Aiden the Destroyer fans, we know they're going to be playing Rampart and Ranked coming up very shortly here, which is on King's Canyon, second day coming in for that ranked split. So if you're trying to grind, don't fall behind too early after you're done watching here Series E. Get your squad together and throw together that ranked team. Jamerson, me and you, this weekend, what are you doing?
I mean, this weekend, unfortunately, I got a lot of prep. We do have Challenger Circuit coming up, the last weekend of Challenger Circuit, so I gotta start doing the VOD reviews, gotta watch the streams, you know. Oh, Oxygen, though, in a fight up against Nerf right now. That's a 1v1 trade, but we do also have the Prowlers throwing a little wrench in the works here for this fight, making things a bit difficult. We'll see if Oxygen can regroup as a full. Razor has shown up for the third party as well. Gonna secure the Thirst on the ground to make sure that this remains a man disadvantage for the rest of our squads.
Yeah, Razor's been playing really, really solid. Unfortunate for turns, he's going to be taken down. That's going to be Force going out as well. The triple take, I know you're proud of that one, and that's going to be all she wrote most likely for Nerf. I mean, they have one more game after this, and this is not the performance that we were anticipating from them after we saw just a dominant team yesterday. But that is how Pro Day goes. It's a completely different pace. It's way more intense, and the teams are just so experienced in terms of how you're going to go about going into the final zones here. You're not able to just take all these fights like they were yesterday, and it's seeming to kind of bite them in the back. And you brought up a great point. Excedrin is a team that has kind of excelled on the Pro Days, and you have to be able to excel in both type of situations, as Kim Chile is going to throw down a really great bubble to avoid this defensive bar. That PK is stacked.
Yeah, and if they were keeping an eye on the kill feed, they know that they have the lead on Nerf. They started off this round with a 4-point lead, so if Nerf end up getting knocked out, placement points is really all they need. They don't have to go for these kills, but they're still going to try and find this engagement. Kimchi Lee takes that rooftop. Arcstar barely missing, but enemy gets the knock onto Nocturnal anyhow. Urban finds a kill onto Gilderston, so multiple squads here in this fight. Excedrin will go ahead and allow Atlanta Premier to finish things off here, and they'll just go ahead and back away. We noted that there was going to be a big pileup of squads on the eastern side. We'll see if Excedrin continue to push up. I don't think there were trades for Atlanta Premier, so this is going to be a blank fight, or this is going to be a naked fight now at this point, but the Thermite will slow things down. Kimchi Lee backs away, and they'll have to reapproach this one in just a moment. Oh, never mind. Enemy gets the knock. And the car is putting in work today. And look at that. Kimchi Lee somehow just pushes in by himself with that bubble out. Stays alive long enough for Enemy to show up to get another knock. I'll go ahead and get the Thirst and Lana Premier knocked out.
That was a great overall team effort, but the entry frag there from Enemy was so darn good. You could see how close Kimchi was from going down there, but the bubble over towards the top of the stairs, every single time that you want to see a great Gibraltar play, just watch how Kimchi Lee goes about the business. I mean, every single entry towards the doorway is perfect. Every single defensive bombardment, for the most part, is well timed. You never really see him make any mechanical mistakes, and you wonder, is Nerf going to be able to stop Excedrin? Right now, it's just completely different than what we saw yesterday, and it's wild to see what happens once you enter with a couple of these other top teams that are going on over towards Sweden and some of these other up-and-coming teams that we have here in Series Z. Is CLG now trying to fight their way out of virtually last place today and hopefully get some sort of good performance on Stern Point?
Yeah, they're getting some decent damage off, and they have reset, forcing out a defensive bombardment at the very least. Got the crack onto the Gibraltar now, forcing out a bubble. You do have that low ground angle peak, but Mamba is actually getting challenged through that, and he is forced back. And it looks like it's going to be the Valkyrie redeploy from this squad to just completely get out of here, but they are starting to beam. Not quite the crack yet, as Nerf end up going down on the kill feed. It's going to be Aiden the Destroyer, of course, picking up the remnants of Team Nerf, and that is a beautiful sight if you're Team Excedrin, who need to continue to grow this lead that got cut into last night during the Pro Night. Here's Esports Arena, though, making their push out. Floop! Oh no, gets caught in that passive animation, and now Team Oxygen about to get the clap. Team Esports Arena pushing up, 84-32 follow-up, and they'll get rid of that Gibraltar. That's going to be Oxygen knocked out. We're down to 11 squads now.
And ESA is feeling themselves with the BM today, whether it's the 50-50s, whether it's winning games towards the tail end. They are shooting boxes, and let it be known that they are, if not the best team in the country, very darn close to it here in North America. Love watching them go about how they're going to play this one. Again, Horizon for Skittle Cake, switching on over from Caustic, going forward from World's Edge on over towards Storm Point. Definitely the right decision in terms of wanting to take the high ground. So two different legends that could go and take the high ground. It's really popular that we've seen, you know, Loba coming through into play. We've seen Ashe come into play. Again, that's what I love about the current meta right now. It's not all just concrete in terms of what your composition needs to be. But this has been what CLG's been playing for a little while now, and the exact same composition paying hopeful dividends for this squad.
Yeah, it's nice not seeing the 100%, 99%, and then 97% pick rate legends, right? So there is a great deal of diversity when it comes down to legend picks. Here's CLG, though, pushing up now. Mamba got some initial damage off, but Nano's going to be slowed down. He's only got the slow heals, unfortunately, so they need to top off or at least hand over some bats to Nano. So
for real,
they can have the fast resets instead. I mean, you got 4 in the back pocket there, Mamba, and you guys have just spent about, what, like 16 seconds for the slow reset here. And during that time, that means the other team is healing up as well. So now this is going to be a fresh fight, complete reset from either side. Mamba's going to try and find an angle here from the right side. We'll see if he can get it. Having a little difficulty getting up top. He does have that grab lift, but he wants to kind of hold on to that one for as long as he can. And this fight is looking fairly awkward. The other team might have been able to just completely back away. No, they're still peeking out. Big headshot onto Mamba, forcing out one of those bats.
Wow, he's just going to use the batteries in front of Nano's face like that? He's not even going to consider checking to see how many cells he has? I get what he's going for. He's saying, if I'm the first one to charge my Evo shield up to red, then technically I need the batteries and you guys don't. Some big brain thinking coming in from the CLG squad. I see what you guys are up to. You can't hide that from me. We can see everything over here as they finally use the grab lift to take the height advantage.
All right, they do have roof, but the team has backed away. Nice 44 shot with that black hole, bringing that Ashe back on in. You can see both players actually getting a little bit lost because of the pull-in from that black hole. Nice big shot from Vodstro. There's going to be Vizio on the other side of this fight. They can go for that fast reset. Nano, though, remember, doesn't have any bats. He's going to have to slow heal this one. Does get handed one on over. Thank you, but I feel like that was Vodstro that handed it over because they didn't have it. They didn't feel up fast enough. Nano goes down. It's down to a 2v2. Jimmy got re-knocked throughout all of that. Now Vatro burning away, does need to heal up. Mama getting shot up from behind. You can see why handing around the meds is so important. And CLG are getting punished for it. This is just fundamentals when it comes to inventory management and the team play. And so now CLG are getting naded out here as Splash turn things around on them.
Senpai faking like he's throwing the grenade over towards one side, tosses it on over towards the other. But that is a heartbreaking turn of events. I mean, the fact that they couldn't get the knock onto the Ash while the black hole was down there is really, really interesting to me, as Vatro's going to get a knock onto Fury. Scissors is going to answer that one right back. But that was a little bit sloppy play. Realistically, you would hope to see something a little bit cleaner coming through on a building infiltration like that. But there was a handful of different teams in the area making that a little bit more difficult and adding a little bit more pressure to the situation.
Yeah, so Splash were able to take advantage of this spot. Esports Arena in the center zone, I believe. Excedrin should be around here as well. Not too far off there, right underneath them actually. Here comes the push out. 27 onto one. Arcstar in. Another one to try and force them now down to lower. Skittle Cakes will go ahead and challenge instantly. Great movement out. Cruisin' goes down to that nade. And now Esports Arena about to make short work of Excedrin. We'll see if they got any fight left in them. But here's the full three-man push out. Kimchi Lee slides in with the bubble. This time around, though, it's not going to be enough. Enemy goes down. Kimchi Lee will fall. Team Excedrin knocked out in 10th place with a few kills there. So they're not able to expand that lead against Nerf by too much here. So Nerf, we're happy to see that at the very least.
It's amazing watching ESA fight because they're always on the same page, and it makes me wonder if that's just because it's natural teamwork after playing with each other for so long now, or if they're communicating at an extremely fast pace what the plan is going to be. And that is what makes infiltrating buildings so difficult, because you all have to be taking different angles and it all has to happen at the same time. You can't afford to stagger that, and a majority of the time you don't even have enough time to communicate that unless you're small talking about where you're going. So Esports Arena, now you see Nock taking a lot of damage. Speaking of damage, Pau takes a lot of damage as well. The bubble is going to be going down. The healing has to hit too, but why is Madness not going for the cells? Okay, there it is. He's going to back off just a little bit more, go for the healing. Pau's going to go and hit the syringe as well, and Sykes, the new addition to this team replacing Saucer, is going to be looking for damage with this Wingman and Car. Now, James, this is kind of a weird situation because they're getting gate kept right here, so either they're going to have to take that fight directly or they're going to have to skyward dive over them, and it makes things a little bit difficult considering which squad they're going up against. It's going to be Vizio, who's definitely one of our stronger team fighting teams here.
Yeah, they're giving them no options too, so they're just applying pressure. Nice tether in, keeps him in play, and Madness will go down. Scissors with a quick turnaround, but he gets yeeted out from behind cover and taken down. Sykes picks that one up, bringing this one down to a 2v2. Just that bubble advantage on the other side for Renegades that they're trying to play around here. Fearing will go ahead and use the bubble to his advantage here, but Sykes gets the knock onto Jimmy. It's Sykes. Ooh, is able to pick them off with that Wingman. Renegades turning the script onto them. Madness will get rezzed up as well. And like you said, they were getting gate kept, and there was an excellent opportunity, but man, what a great turnaround from Renegades.
And Madness has to be stoked right there, because as the captain of the team, as the guy that's trying to entry frag, etc., you go down and you think, okay, this is a 2 versus 3 situation. We haven't been able to win these recently. Well, guess what? It's a different team now, and Sykes absolutely proving that he deserves to be on this team solely just from that fight right there. I mean, that's the type of fight, Jamerson, that boosts your confidence, it gets you going, and that could be a turning point for the rest of this Renegade squad going forward. I see, after that 3v1, now finding literally the best rat spot in the world.
Yeah, I see River at home in the river. And remember, he picked up that +3. He got the full team wipe in the 1v3 with the Mozambique. I mean, it's so awesome because he's also on the Gibraltar, right? So yeah, Mozambique here, but oh no!
No way!
Are they actually gonna drop on top?
No
what?
way! Do they not see him?
Look up! What?
Oh my god! No, don't move, Icy. What are you thinking? You had it. He wants another 3v1. He wants another 3v1, Jamerson. He's not done yet. All right, he's done.
Okay, he does go down. Oh my god, my brain was about to just shut off there if that happened. Except, how did they not see him? I mean, he wasn't moving, I guess. His back was turned towards them, and I don't know.
He had a tree skin, too. He literally was, like, blending in with the tree, which was perfect right there. But Esports Arena losing out on Knock. Now they lose out on Duplex, and Skittlecake's trying to find his icy river. And there it is. All right. All these little crevices just being made out of nowhere.
Yeah, and this is why it's also important to be able to play into these games, right? Into the late game, to discover more of the map. So, Stormpoint, that's been out for a while, but we know that there's always a new spot to learn. There's always a new rat spot to learn. So this is valuable experience to be able to pick up, even when you're in that situation. Esports Arena currently right now in first place. They're down by, or they're up by 3. I believe, above Liquid, but if I remember correctly, Liquid did go down in this game. So they should be able to maintain that lead as long as he can survive a little bit longer. Every single team that he outlasts is going to be an additional point, additional 2, additional 3. So this is going to be massive.
Yeah, Splash has the high ground here, Jamerson. You would think that they are the team to beat with their current positioning. One problem that I see right now for Senpai is the lack of light ammo. I mean, 83 shots? 100, well, that's not the math I'm looking for, 153 shots. It seems like a decent amount, but realistically, what is that? 5 clips. So unless they're able to get some kills and find some light ammo, he's got to be a little bit patient in terms of how he lets this thing rip. And also, you don't want to be stuck looting too long when there's so many different squads fighting. But you look at the commotion happening over towards the bottom, you can see Madness is trying to get involved potentially with Team Razor down below him and Fearing Live. They're all hugging the bottom of the waterfall right there, so they can't get the angles from directly above, which is a really smart play. Now Splash is electing to not really show presence based on what we were talking about, and you can see the trigger discipline from Senpai. He understands this is really not that much ammo towards the tail end of this game, so he's got to be patient.
Yeah, mobile respawn beacon down to provide them a little bit of cover as well. Going into the final circle, we have 5 full teams alive. We had Splash, we had Furia, Xset as well. And so now Splash with that high ground. They're going to be one of the first teams forced out of cover, though. But that mobile respawn beacon will give them a few extra seconds up there to utilize. Furia stuck on the low here, have their own mobile respawn beacon down. But they're also another team that's going to be forced out of cover extremely fast here. So things are looking a little bit dicey. We'll see if they can find an opening to walk in, and they're just going to go ahead and ledge crawl through. Now they've got to be careful encroaching upon this waterfall. You can see the outlines. There is a full 3-man on the other side of this one. Panders has to be ready for this one. He does have the DT, of course, on that Volt. Has to back away. We throw down the smokes. We do have that black hole going down, and bubble is used there from Tech.
Running into the black hole, new meta.
Just eats it. He actually, I didn't even realize it's a double Volt for him here, but he's not able to find the opening quite yet. There we go, the peek on out, getting the crack, another one as well, and he is melting them. Sorcerer comes in for the kill steal on to Dre, and Razor putting up no fight. Furia gets some much needed loot here for the final ring.
What was Razor doing is the real question right there. It was like their mouse and keyboards disconnected, or their controllers disconnected, whatever the input is right there. That was just a really odd call for them not to show any presence and say, okay, let's hide in there. Just let the aim assist take control of your painters right there, literally just shooting in no man's land and connecting for so much damage. Now Splash leaving on over towards the high ground. This is a full 3-on-3-on-3-on-3 situation over here, but a lot of damage is going on over towards Splash, and I'm not quite sure if they're going to be able to reset. Great timing there from the defensive bombardment from Klein as well.
Yeah, they got the knock and the instant flush out onto Insipult. This taking him out. Defensive bombardment actually gets crack onto one more member, as it looks like Renegade's just holding that western side of the map right now. Sykes might fall here. It looks like the bubble goes down just in time to keep him alive. They need the reset, and they're not comfortable with making the push. It's a 3v3v3. They turn around onto Furia instead. Klein doesn't have his bubble for another 7 seconds. Madness gets a knock onto Saucerer here, and they push up to try and secure these kills. Hakulo gets a knock, and that's Furia going down at the final 3v3. No one going down on side of Xset. Renegades using this time to go for that full reset missile storm, but it's just in time for that bat to go off. Sykes gets the knock onto Klein, and Renegades will take another win here on Storm Point.
It's not surprising that they continued that momentum up because of the fact that they were able to win that team fight when they shouldn't have. Sykes popped off, and then all of a sudden you get Madness back into it, you get Madness going, you get his confidence going. There's a reason why he's won, 5, 6 different ALGS tournaments throughout his career. It's been a while, maybe a year since he's been able to pick up a win, since he's no longer been on CLG, but the dude knows how to frag out, he knows how to fight, and those are the type of skirmishes he excels in. So what a job from Renegades closing that out. Xset has been on fire today, and Renegades put that out.
Yeah, and vibes. I mean, you're absolutely right. Vibes are so important when it comes to this. When you get a huge clutch up like that out from Sykes, you know that the mental is kind of reset. Madness is able to get back into the game. So that is a crucial moment for them. So another win here for Renegades. That's going to be an absolutely massive one. They'll be taking the lead going into the final game of the day. Speaking of that, we do have to take a break. And when we get back, we'll have one last game on Storm Point. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back after this break.
Versus coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true smart trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Put the bars in the breaks. I'm talking one chance, yeah, we're so close for the goal. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Etc. I'm fading.
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast. Excedrin, game over for headaches.
It's fruit refreshing, refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0 calorie treat. Now all our top fresh flavored splash.
It's fruit freshen.
Renegades with their second win of the night. They're cleaning up Xset in that final circle. We had some very interesting ratting in that game, and Renegades come out on top of all the chaos there. Well played from them. Let's check out our player of the game here for game number 5 as we get ready for the final game of the day, as we will head to Storm Point. Of course, it is Sykes here, of course, filling in today as the third for Renegades and picking up player of the game honors here in game 5. 4 kills, as well as 2 assists and over 1,200 damage. We saw Saucerer in there in the mix, maybe trying to take down his former team. Wasn't able to do so as Renegades come out on top and are looking very strong today. So well played from the squad there. And the question now is, can they make it 3? 1 game remains on the day, and Renegades the only multi-game winner so far. Can they make it 3 here tonight? We'll have to see when we come back with our final game of the day. So don't go far.
Welcome back to Series E. Game number 5 had it all. Some of the best ratting we've seen. Some great 1v3s with the Mozambique as well. But it was ultimately Renegades that won that game. Another victory for them there on Stormpoint, which should clearly now put them in the lead. So let's check in with the Mobile One leaderboard to see the damage done.
Oh.
And never mind. What?
Renegades? Jamerson lies.
How did that happen?
2 things we've never seen before. Jamerson mess up his math and him lying. All in one take. Can we clip that, please? Can we make that a Mobile One high performance moment?
This is a really close top 3, though. Let's go ahead and move away from that. I forgot. Yeah, it was Liquid that ended up winning game number 4. Sorry, I remembered game number 4, but Renegades were there in the top 3. So now they put themselves in 2nd place, 5 points down from Team Esports Arena. Liquid now locked down to 3rd place, down by 11 points up against Team Esports Arena. So let's check in with the Mobile One high performance moment of game number 5. And I mean, there were so many, but we're going with this. Panders, the dirty double Volti coming out, and they just let him do this. They just let him do this.
They really did. They're like, yeah, Panders, you want to make a clip out of it? Cool. You guys want to have us be in the high performance moment? Go for it. Hey, do you want to literally just eat the black hole while you're at it? Might as well. He tosses the nades out, and this is why they were filtered on over towards the corner. But as soon as that happens, an immediate bubble needs to go down. Something needs to give for these guys. They cannot just sit there and think that that waterfall is going to be covered. But like you were talking about, Jamerson, everyone's still kind of learning the map still, and they may have thought that that was a good play, but I'm surprised Panders doesn't even lead with a smoke right there because he has the digi threat. He just was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going for it. I'm going to shoot through the water, and I'm going to make a clip out of this.
I mean, the water does kind of work as like natural smoke, right? It can definitely obscure your vision or at least mess with your FPS. I know that for sure. When I had a really bad computer, I could not deal with that whatsoever. When we got one of our first waterfalls, I think, on Olympus. That area, that high ground area on Olympus, absolutely demolished my FPS. So I'm surprised you played around this spot and you get punished for it. Furia doing a great job there. They did make it pretty far into this game, but it's been an up and down day for them so far. We'll see if they can bounce back in the final game of the day. That means we are headed into game number 6, though, loading up one last time onto Stormpoint. Let's join on board with Renegades now here, looking for a strong finish to kind of topple Esports Arena's reign in, well, their own kind of tournament right here at Series E.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm a boomer. I'm sure Razor isn't nearly as old as me, but there was a little saying from TLC called "Don't go chasing waterfalls," Jamerson, and I'm pretty sure we all know that one. Hopefully Razor has learned their lesson after that one as we see what Renegades is up to, and they're getting some scans on a team on over towards their west side. And look at this from Pow Pow. He's going to try to get an immediate gun. Unfortunately, only is able to find an armor. That was the crate he wanted, so he could lay down some extra damage over towards the side. But it's all started with an amazing clutch up in that 2v3 for Renegades. And now I wouldn't be surprised if their confidence just continues to skyrocket and the value from Renegades as it continue to go up. But how many northern zones have we seen today? It feels like all 6 have been north. Well, we have one.
It started off with the highest pull to the north there in game number 4, just above wall. But yeah, I mean, we know that there is a high chance for these northern poles with so many POIs up there. Lightning Rod, Thunderwatch, High Point. It all does kind of gravitate towards that side. But today, definitely, it is favoring that. North Pad is going to be the final ending here. It should be dropping basically where Splash is, where Yusaki is looting up. That's what I'm looking at for the final zone. If this one pulls down towards Excedrin, I would be a little bit surprised.
Yeah, and Excedrin is a great team to call out because this is the team that we know is fighting for top 3 to try to get into the next season of Series Z. And you see where Nerf is. They're over towards the southern side of the map, having to make their way through a handful of different chokes and teams. Holy armor! The game just started, Ghost Gaming. Chill.
Purples along with the gold. That's absolutely insane to start off the day and into this fight. If you get the armor checks on the other side, you're not like this girl slides in. Oh, she almost got a highlight reel clip there, but instead things get turned around. She will fall. TDG now at man disadvantage here, but Durango is going to go ahead and continue to force the issue, but Rakinishu is still relatively healthy. Big 89 shot, and he does not get the knock, but Impulse will come in for that clean up, taking out TDG. Ghost Gaming. Now that's going to be all of their loot. Splash, though, here on the northern side. Yusaki is trying to rejoin with this squad as a full 3-man pushes up on them. Wondering if this is Excedrin trying to close the gap on them right now. Yusaki might go down. He's going to be forced to use that phase breach just to reconnect with the squad.
I was like, the Prowlers don't shoot? What's going on over here? I was a little confused for a second. Oh, big Sentinel shot. 134 coming in for Senpai. Do it to him in the air. Okay. So close right there. Sentinel just puts in so much work. It's so fun to watch these players use that one. I believe he could have had that one charged up too. Going back to that fight though, it's so unfortunate for TDG because you're like, this one's got purple, he's got purple too, this one has gold. It's like, you really don't think that's going to happen in the first 30 seconds of the game.
Yeah, when you have that huge armor disadvantage, it's basically like an entire player's worth of health. At that point, Liquid did end up using their skyward dive to take this high ground up at North Pad, and it's actually a pretty decent spot for them. They've got the Loba, and they have plenty of ammo for Nocturnal to play off with this Rampage. So getting these Evo shields up to blues and purples should be relatively easy for them.
Yep, no doubt about it. This is going to be a great spot to be in. This is almost securing a top 5 position already. And again, with Loba, this is what you want to do. They've figured out exactly what their style is going to be. We know Nocturnal is playing a really strong Wraith overall if he's going to be on World's Edge 2, which we saw during the Pro League. But I love the way that Liquid's really stepped it up. It seems like their pacing, their style is there. The fit with Gildersons has been working out phenomenally for them too. But another team to watch out for, you know, as the day goes on or as the weeks go on now, is definitely going to be Renegades. You can see this team fighting capabilities that they have now. The vibes are definitely back over there. And, you know, you hope to see that Saucer finds success on his new team too. But Renegades is looking very, very strong today.
And I have to say for Team Liquid, you know, a lot of this comes down to just having such a crucial kind of like anchor player on that roster with Nocturnal coming in as an IGL, but also being able to flex to so many legends for his squad. In the past, you know, he's played basically everything for the team. Let's go ahead and talk about Excedrin now as they're trying to push up onto this advanced position inside of North Pad. Kimchi Lee throwing down that bubble, fighting up against an enemy Gibraltar here, but they get a little bit lost. Our Icy River is going to be able to come in once again. Enemy does take him out though, but now it's all up to Enemy, left in a 2v1. Doesn't have enough left in him. He will go down. Excedrin falling. This is Nerf's opportunity now. Yep. Final game of the day to catch up.
Yep, and Nerf really needed that type of break, and Gas Station Gaming is going to bring that one over towards them. But Icy is not messing around, and you know that Jet and Rambo are stoked after seeing that 3v1. So when we're talking about vibes, and we're talking about your teammates getting pumped up, Renegades looking pumped up, Gas Station Gaming looking like they're a force to be reckoned with as well.
Ghost Gaming, ooh, Rakinishu getting some tags. He does have to back away. Nice crack there, getting 76, just enough for the crack onto that blue armor. So it's going to be a quick reset for them. They're healing things out. Wave gets tagged. Now their reset gets slowed down even more. Luckily for them, he does have that gold armor. Oh, Gilderson's gone down. Big fight now. Mercy only picking that one up. A lot of fighting taking place. And that one was at North Pad. Remember, they were on that high ground position. So is it going to be a full push onto Team Liquid?
It makes me wonder if Gilderson's accidentally fell. Now Mercy's getting another knock onto a different team. What is going on over here? This is 3-4 different teams happening over towards the north side. We got to switch point of views and see what's happening with Liquid. There we go.
Yeah, Liquid combined forces once again on the low ground here to go for that reset bubble out, but Nocturnal's toesies are peeking there. Looking for him, he's going to be able to climb up. He still needs to heal up once more. Hitting the cells now. Gilderson will fall. Mamba picks that one up. Nerf gets knocked out. That is going to be Excedrin now maintaining this lead above them. Liquid will be able to secure that kill onto Mamba as well. Back away. They still need to get Gilderson's up. They don't have a bubble. Again, for another 15 seconds here as Nocturnal is trying his best to survive with that passive of Valkyrie. And he does survive for now. CLG coming back though. As he gets the tag, another one breaks and hits for Flesh. Gilderson's going for that peek up top, but he is forced back as Vatro is there, covering the angle for Nano. They do secure that banner as well. Now, it's going to be Nano going for that peek to try and secure that thirst. They have to be careful as they're fighting up against Gilderson stuck on the low ground. Big hit there from the PK. Will they be able to finish off Team Liquid? CLG gonna have to back off just a bit. Now, he did pick up the banners, and so he could try and skyward dive out to get them back into this game, but this is such pressure, so much pressure being applied now by Nano.
Vatro's getting the res right now onto Mamba. I believe Nano was adding pressure to the last member of Team Liquid, which is going to be Nocturnal on that Valkyrie. But all hell breaking loose in this final game. Razor's out, Nerf's out, Excedrin is out, Vizio, they're still in. Plus a handful of broken squads. What a wild game 6.
Yeah, 14 squads remaining here at the end. Atlanta Premier, they are up here at North Pad. They have found themselves a shuttle to play off of, wondering if there's a team below, and there is a full 3-man. They've already used their bubble, though, so they're going to have to wait that one out if they want to continue to make the push down to the low ground here. Asura going to try and find an angle from bot. They know that the Loba just used that black market boutique, getting some decent damage off, and they will actually grief it. So that team will not be able to get more loot off of it. The bubble should be coming up very shortly here for Urban, but Asura gets full peeked out from the 3 members. It's going to be Vizio with the coordinated push out, getting that first knock, bringing this down to a 3v2, but the answer back from Urban with that Spitfire takes out Fury. Vizio have been able to reset though. Now it's just a 2v2. Scissors has that top down, but that leaves Jimmy by himself inside the bubble. Arcstar in onto 1. Doesn't get the quite connect though, unfortunately. And he just takes Reheight again as they're going to try and challenge him, and the car does so much damage. Scissors putting in so much work, but he needs to help out Jimmy, who's getting pushed. Never mind, Jimmy doesn't need the help. He gets the knock onto Urban. Vizio will be able to survive the fray. They're now the kill leaders, Scissors with 4.
Really nicely done there, as everyone needs to reset basically immediately. Fortunately for them, they are not in the thick of things over towards the zone. They're more or less on the edge, but what a tense fight right there. And Vizio clutching this one out, showing why they're number 1 in that accumulative leaderboard throughout all of Season 4 here in Series Z. Also finding a nice little trident over towards the side to try to get that extra damage down and build that one up. But 4 assists coming in for Jimmy. Really nice to see after how they accidentally oh, there's a team directly in front of you, Jimmy. Look out! What are you doing? Oh no!
Oh, the bubble needs to come out faster here. There's the bubble out from Exit as they advance in, and this is such a quick push. Fury does answer back, bring this down to a 1v1.
Oh!
What? Scissors was alive that whole time. Never mind, it wasn't a 1v1, but Fury made it look like it was a 1v3. The way he was able to just take advantage of them pushing into that funnel. Vizio now with a monstrous game. They have like 9 kill points, 5 in the hands of Scissors there.
Fury just hawked a loogie on Xset right there. That was disrespectful. Insane car play coming out from Scissors and Fury. I was worried that Jimmy was deer in headlights right there. I don't know if it was some controller looting things that were going on, if he really liked the way that death box looked and he was just going towards the bright light. But we could see those players from a mile away, and Jimmy was not interested in that one. You know, it was just a bait by Jimmy. Let's just put it, Jimmy is the best baiter in the world.
I guess you could say he's a master at it, right? Team Esports Arena now. Coming in from the western side, they do have a team ahead of them here. And remember, they are our current leaders. They were leading by about 5 points, so it's not a comfortable lead. And we have a lot of money on the line today, 2,000 in our total prize pool for the evening, going to the top 3. Esports Arena. They've been able to rack up win after win after win here on Pro Nights. Can they top it off this week as well?
There goes Skittle Cakes with the shots. Oh my goodness, a flying devotion. The thing looked like it was turbocharged for a second, but nope, that's just Skittle Cakes ripping players across the map as Zuplex is going to go and pop that battery. But I love watching Esports Arena play in these type of moments where they have to work their way in over towards the zone, fighting teams along the way. They're just so skilled in these type of scenarios. But Furia looks like they've taken on over towards the high ground over here. Saucer in a cheeky little spot. I don't think I've really seen anyone lock these areas down yet.
Yeah, this is kind of new to me as well, but it looks like not too new to other players. Panders goes for that peek and instantly gets chunked down by that charge rifle. But Furia, we'll see. They need a pretty big game here. We'll see if they can pick that one up. They're in a good spot for it, as round 3 did just start. I wonder if any team was able to pick up that beacon for us to really nail down where this final ring is going to be ending. Probably on this tower, though, more than likely, with all of our squads putting so much reliance on this spot early on. Hey, that's a nice little climb up to learn as well.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of different rat spots, a lot of different hiding spots, good power positions on over towards the high ground. Definitely been a really solid 3 games here on Stormpoint. Hopefully y'all are enjoying watching this one at home or wherever you are, whether you're mobile, on your computer, laptop, whatever that may be. This is our final game here. This is game 6. I know they've been flying by, but you can see in the bottom right hand of your screen, it is completely true. I don't lie like Jamerson in the scoreboard is going to be Davis Wade with the first initial down right there. Duplex, that's not the team that you want to run into, Jamerson. You don't want to run into the full 3-man ESA squad when they're in your sights.
Especially standing in front of Noct. That is such a dangerous affair there. Looks like they will be able to secure the finishes off onto Ghost. Another team showing up, though. They're going to go ahead and back away from that defensive bombardment. Need the time for Duplex to go ahead and get that reset, and instantly Noct is back up top, controlling the high ground. Renegades have been knocked out on the kill feed. Elevate, pick that one up. They started the day off strong. Nocturnal back in the game now, getting the knock onto Skittle Cakes. It's traded back, though. Vizio showing up long range, that 301 of Duplex taking out Gildersons. Here's Vizio for the third party, though. Team Liquid not quite out yet. See how much they have left. Never mind. There they go, going down. Esports Arena might be next as Noct gets finished off. They're out with that Trident, creating some distance up against Team Vizio.
Yeah, that Trident had some serious NOS gas right there. That was a very fast dip set. Even hits a battery throughout all of that and hops right back into the Trident. That player is absolutely toxic. We're going to have to find out who that was. Good job. But I love the way that Vizio is going about the business right now. I mean, they are dominating, and it started again with the way that they were able to handle Xset in this 2 versus 3. And they're picking up right where they left off over here. What a performance from Vizio.
Triple red armors. Amazing economy for basically the last little bit here. As you can see, Duplex, his position was given away. He was the last player of Esports Arena that got out with that Trident. No opportunity for him to try and go back. They are sitting on those banners. You cannot allow Esports Arena back into this game, so I completely agree with Vizio's decision. Just camp those banners, just another 30 seconds. I mean, did you see that tweet, by the way? I forget if it was like Designful or Gentrifying, on how he like set a timer, the 90 seconds for the banners. Like, he's gonna be an absolute demon in ranked now.
That's pretty funny. I mean, it reminds me of the old school Halo 1 days when we used to have the talking timers and have them basically clipped onto our hat so we could figure out when the weapons were going to be coming up. So I definitely respect the grind right there coming in from Designful. Let's see what Wingman Season's going to be able to do. Kind of a quiet day for them. They've been dealing with a lot of 50-50s overall. We've seen them in the final circle, I believe, once or twice, but nothing too concrete quite yet. This could be their opportunity to get a dub.
Still, this is just amazing experience for them, right? Never mind. That's a bad experience. Jimmy peeks the door, gets instantly thirsted. Zednim try to get that port out for him, but it's not going to be fast enough. That was a really quick turnaround from that squad. Noko, though, picks up 2. Okay, T-Sin going down just like that. Can recover the banner. It does seem like with that port, Zednim, will he try to go for it? Vizio giving the chase onto Noko now. Defensive bombardment will force him to have to wide swing to avoid a lot of this damage. Maybe buys enough time. Scissors, though, just goes right on in with that Valk on that port. They get the knock onto Zednim. And now that's going to be Wingman Season getting taken out. 6 squads remaining, all full, except for Esports Arena, who are currently just riding this one out with one last player.
What an amazing game from Vizio, and it's been so many different types of styles. This is reminding me very much of what Esports Arena was doing, but maybe not as dominant in terms of the amount of action that they've had to deal with. But you can see Duplex now having to do this one all by himself. Has the 5 kills, completely possible while he's in the zone over here. What a perfect spot to be on the edge and hiding behind that specific pill. But we'll see if the pings are going to go down, and now he has been spotted out. Vizio is on the case, as they have been the entire time. We'll see if they figured out that he's already ran on the opposite side of the wall, and they have. Duplex could be the fastest rat ever, okay? He hopped in the Trident, got out of there, and now he's playing Gibby like he was playing in Ash and phase breaching back on over and out of situations. All right, Duplex. We're going to have to call Tomcat on this guy, because this rat is on something.
Well, he's just gone down. CLG were able to pick him up. So we are now down to the final 5 squads. We got Furio, we got Vizio, CLG, along with Gas Station Gaming that are up on the northern side right now, and Elevate as well. So some of our actually almost all of our top teams already knocked out here, so we're gonna have to wait to see what the scoreboard looks like, but it should be enough for Team Esports Arena with the 5 kills or however many that Duplex had, along with the 3-4 placement points that they ended up getting to secure this victory. Bubble out now with that arc star coming in. Nano back, needs to go ahead and heal up. Big nade out from CLG. Could turn the tides of this fight, but they need to reset. So unfortunately, they're not able to take advantage of that nade. Elevate ends up pushing onto Vizio, taking out Fury. A lot of teams starting to congregate on this fight now. That ring hard pulling away to the north side, so teams need to hurry up on this fight. Fury needs to get brought back up, but doesn't look like there's going to be an opportunity. CLG now taking the fight to Elevate here, and that's going to be the opening for Vizio to get the res onto Fury, get him back up just in time. 40 seconds to go before this zone starts closing.
Sometimes you got to get a little lucky in these type of situations, and because of the fact that they bought time over towards the door, that means that the rest of CLG flanks in behind Elevate, just like you were talking about, Jamerson, and they were able to get that res and full heal off too. What is really unfortunate is when you get a huge crack like that and you're playing on Horizon, you immediately want to toss that black hole out. Speaking of black hole, very nicely placed coming in from Mamba. They're going for the Wombo combo. Bubble is going to come out on the other side, so that should stop the defensive bombardment as it's coming through. Meanwhile, Vizio takes to the skies and takes the backhand area over here. Remember, they're not running a Gibby, so if you're going to do anything, you're going to have to take inside of that bubble or run away. That's what they're doing. However, they're running directly into the other teams.
Oh, they thought they were going to have an isolated 2v2 here because we are in this 4-team situation. Scissors caught out a little bit in the open, but they did at least force out a lot of utility on their side. CLG now forcing the issue up against Icy River and them as they go ahead and push up. They get the knock onto Rambo and Jet. Only one player remaining here, and they need to do this quickly, cleanly, and then push in for that third party. Furia ends up getting a knock on to one. That's trades on the other side. CLG will take the time to go for the reset here as both teams are still fighting. Furia were able to get the res for themselves. It's going to be a full reset out from either side, it seems, but Vizio get knocked out. Now it's the final 3v3, CLG versus Furia, as now Malice Mamba is going to take to the skies to try and get the flank here. Walking up, Saucer takes a lot of damage and is forced back behind cover. They're looking up to the skies to see where that Valkyrie's coming in from, as now Botro pushes into the enemy bubble. He will go down, but it looks like the man advantage is here for CLG in the 1v2. Panders, does he have enough in the tank here? No, he does not. CLG will go ahead and push the issue, take the win here in game number 6.
CLG really needed that. I mean, so did Vizio and a lot of these squads, because the majority of our top teams were eliminated. But CLG is a top 10 team. They qualified going into Stockholm, Sweden. You do not want to be at last place on that leaderboard. So the fact that they were able to get over the growing pains for the 50-50s that they were dealing with from Xside and World's Edge, moving on over to Stormpoint, that's a great sign for CLG and their fans.
Yeah, and they had a really rough start to the day. I mean, it was, what, 3-4 games where they started off with about like 2 or 3 points. So a much needed victory, at least a moral victory for themselves here in game number 6. Now, we're going to take a short break while our admins, of course, tally up the rest of the results. And when we get back, we'll be able to announce our top 3 teams that placed into 2K money tonight. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
We're going to do it in 3, 2, 1.
SLG finishing the night with a W there. They take out Furia in the final circle to grab the win. That's a team that's going to Stockholm and looking to make some waves out there after an incredible split in Pro League. A lot of teams didn't have really any expectations for this team, and they've been very good over the last month or so. And while I don't know that they're going to top the charts here tonight, that win is going to be a nice little cherry on top of their performance here today. Let's check out our final player of the game for tonight. It's not going to go to CLG, though. Vizio was out in force in this final game, and especially Scissors here. 9 kills, 4 assists, and just south of 1,900 damage in that game. Of course, Scissors has been one of the best fraggers all throughout this season in Series E, right up there at the top with James Fearless, and continuing to show that here on another Pro Night. Just one Open and Pro Night left on the schedule for this season. That'll be next Tuesday and Wednesday, so one more week for Scissors to continue to show that fragging prowess here in Series E. So well played to he and the entire Vizio squad that have had, honestly, no wins tonight, but a lot of really solid performances and some good games. So well played to them. Now, we do have our final leaderboard ready to go. I'm going to hand it right back over to Jamerson and T-Squared right now to check that one out, and then I'll be back to close the show.
All right, welcome back to I was about to say welcome back to CLG, but yeah, CLG taking the victory there in Series E game number 6. Much needed victory for them. And I want to say, Tom, the early and mid games for a lot of these games were a little bit iffy, but when it came to the late games, we got to see some exceptional Apex Legends play today.
Yeah, and there's a reason why these teams have made it into the playoffs, and there's a reason why they continue to pull off these end game type of scenarios. It's really nice to see all the execution that's coming to the table, because we didn't really see many mistakes, and if we did see mistakes, it was punished by really great play, right? And like, for example, when TDG ended up going through and staggering one by one, and Icy goes and hits that 3v1, that was just an amazing play from Icy. That was phenomenal clutching play right there, but it just was one minor mistake gets punished big time, and that's the huge difference between the Open Night and the Pro Night.
Yeah, and with $2,000 on the line here for Pro Night, that's massive money. So let's go ahead and check in with the Mobile One leaderboard to see who ends up on top. Team Esports Arena do it again here on Pro Night, walking away with the lion's share of $2,000 in first place. But not to be outdone, Renegades and Liquid also placing in the money, and that was a pretty close race between Liquid and Renegades for that second place spot, but Renegades with that 4-point lead will go ahead and secure second place.
And you also have to look at Nerf and Excedrin with the differences in terms of points there. It's an 8-point differential. I think you said it was somewhere around like 34 to 36 points was a difference there. So now there's about 40 points that need to be made up next week in our final week here in Series Z. So that's a huge missed opportunity for Nerf in that final game. You would really think that once they saw Excedrin goes down, that could have been the moment for them. Speaking of moments, let's take a look at the Mobile One high performance moment from our game number 6.
And I mean, there were such great fights, but it was this one right here where Fury makes minced meat out of Xset in just a moment. They get the first knock into Jimmy, and as they push up, I mean, this is how you're supposed to do it. The bubble comes in, but it might have been a little bit too deep that allowed Vizio to really play off of it.
It was, and it made it very predictable on exactly when they were going to enter too. So when that bubble comes down, the bubble needs to end right at the door entrance, right? So you toss that one if you're clean. You rather have it shallow than far right here, because now all 3 players have to filter in. And Claimed hits a 66. You wonder, where was the rest of the damage from everybody? You didn't really see anything, and then all of a sudden, it was like the impossible became possible. You never would have thought. And look how healthy they are, Jamerson. It's like they barely lost any of their HP. What a job there from Vizio. What a crazy bait from Jimmy, the master of it, apparently.
Yep. One of the things is that, like, when you fight into these funnels, your team is there. The problem is their bullets are going into your back when you're leading. So a lot of that damage just went completely mitigated because it went to the back of the big Gibraltar boy that was up front. So you have to be careful when you make those entries. I mean, this was the right play. You have to bubble. It was just off by about a meter. Maybe if it's 1 more meter back, they can play off of it. But instead, they don't have that time to kind of regained their composure inside of that tunnel, and it was a great job. Vizio understood the fight, so we see the kind of experience that comes out from Vizio, and I'm so glad that we get to be able to highlight how well they end up playing, especially when they bring in new players and stuff like that and really try things out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Everyone having to filter in there one by one for sure. And if people are wondering, hey, why do you throw the bubble down there? For a couple reasons. One, so you don't get shot in the back as you're entry fragging into the door. But two, if you throw it a little bit more shallow, a few meters like you were talking about, you're able to kind of go in and out of the bubble, so you can kind of, head glitch whenever you need to, have the animation of your shotgun shot going back into the air and back into where it's placed so you can shoot again. That's when you go and you kind of do that little dance, and that's what the players have been so masterful of. You can see constantly people tweeting out, hey, we need a 3v3 dome fight. Hey, we need an arena type of scrim. The bubble fights have become so strong in the last year. It's been a really pleasure to go and watch. Unfortunately for Xset right there, like you said, they all had to filter into one spot, and Vizio was ready.
Yeah, great win for Esports Arena, though, over the course of the evening. Also, congratulations to Renegades and Team Liquid sharing in the $2,000 prize pool tonight. But hey, it's our boys from Esports Arena doing again, showing why we had to sign these guys after Season 3. That's going to do it for us, though. We got 1 week of Series E left, and so keep that in the back of your mind. It's going to be an amazing week of competition next week. For now, though, we're going to go ahead and send it on over to Yeso to close out the show. Thank you all so much for watching, and Yeso, go ahead and take it away, my man.
Jamerson and T-Squared, thank you, gents. Always a pleasure to listen to you both. Congratulations to Team Esports Arena. They grabbed first place with their incredible performance in Game 2. Never let it go throughout the rest of the night, and they finish on top ahead of Renegades and Liquid, who round out the top 3. Another big performance here for Team Esports Arena, looking to go to Stockholm and make some waves. We're going to see some LAN international competition in Apex Legends very soon, and I cannot wait. And Team Esports Arena going to look to do some big things out in Europe, so it's going to be great. Everybody, thank you so much for coming to hang out tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. We certainly had a lot of fun putting it on for all of you. Remember, we still have 1 more week left ahead of us before we wrap up Season 4. So we will have Apex Legends competition next Tuesday and Wednesday to close out Season 4, and it's going to be a blast. And if you're looking for some more Series E, maybe you like Guilty Gear Strive, we will be here with all of that tomorrow. So make sure to come and check that out. All the action kicks off at 4 p.m. Pacific time right here at twitch.tv/Esports Arena. My name is Yeso. I've been your host tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. From myself, the entire live broadcast crew, and everybody here at Esports Arena, have a great rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow.